Lights are dark and muted, illuminating Judd Fry, 8 years old, is kneeling beside the twisted dead body of a boy who looks a lot like him. Judd is in shock. His brain can't comprehend what he's looking at. The dialogue is recorded with no movement on stage.
There they are!
Damn it, boys, we've been hollering your names all night.
Good. Get your brother. Let's get inside now. It's
Judd, you hear your mother, boy? She's...
Judd. Judd, what happened?
My God.
Judd! Judd, tell us what happened!
You...
No!
Why ain't you called anybody?
Please!
Blackout. The woods near the Fry home. Mississippi, 1891. Summer. Daytime. Pre-supper. For the purpose of having a realistic, relevant timeline, today is Thursday. We're in the woods, where there is enough of a clearing for 2 teenagers to play. Sound of running footsteps and heavy breathing.
Not a chance. You ain't fast enough.
You gonna eat those words.
Laurey, 18, African American, runs on first, quickly looking for a hiding spot around her. She finds one.
Ha!
Sound of footsteps approaching, more heavy breathing.
I ain't through yet. I'm winning this.
Hell no.
Laurey grabs a stick. She's hidden as Judd, white, 18, enters finally. He's holding a slingshot.
All right, Comstock. This here's the end of the road for you.
And the road for me? How you gonna shoot? You can't even see.
I got my ways.
Rose gonna forget Billy Cody when Comstock comes out on top.
Laurey leaps up, pointing a stick at Judd.
Bam!
Miss me. Pow!
Missed you? How the hell I missed you? I got you right in the heart.
Dodged it like the keen hunter I am. Pow! Pow! 2 more right in your head.
Laurey doubles over.
I said your head, not your gut.
Oh.
Laurey throws her head back.
Ah, my eyes!
Judd blows smoke off of his slingshot as if it's a hot pistol.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Buffalo Bill's the best of men.
Oh, get off that high horse. You can barely keep up with me.
Shouldn't have hidden then. Green mistake.
If we was at my house, you know I would have won.
Comstock never wins.
Well, sure, maybe if he was in his own backyard.
Anyway you cut it, Buffalo Bill is Bill Cody, not Bill Comstock. That's how it is. Can't go changing history.
Of course you can. Hell, President Lincoln did some 20 years ago.
What?
Free us colored folks, right up. Ain't no one done that before. Not in America, at least. Of course, my daddy says not much has recharged.
Guess you're right there.
I know I am. That's why my brother's middle name's Abraham.
Reckon no one calls him Abraham, though.
My folks do. They say all join Abraham too. When they're mad at him, the join part comes from the Bible, I believe. My name ain't too special that regard. Just plain Laurey, Lauren Tigley.
My daddy's named Judd, so was his daddy for him. That's why I'm Judd.
I know, you told me that ages ago.
You the eldest too?
Youngest.
Right. That's why you're such a fighter.
I bet you ain't wrong.
You think Buffalo Bill ever goes by Buffalo? What are you laughing at? I'm asking.
Judd, that may be the right dumbest question I ever asked.
Like you knew him.
Of course I didn't. But I'm assuming no one shakes a hand and say, howdy, the name's Buffalo. Why you so fixed on that Buffalo Bill anyway?
Ain't you?
Nah, maybe a bit, but certainly not to your level.
Best hunter in all the nation.
Couple thousand buffalo in a season's pretty impressive.
4,282.
Wow.
Everyone must have thought he was something else, like Some kind of god among men. Bet you he could walk right up to anybody. They'd know who he was already. Praising him, telling him he was an inspiration.
Bet you're right.
That'd be something, wouldn't it? All that love.
All that fame.
You said it.
Betcha he was Selman alone.
Yeah. That too.
You trying to get into hunting, Judd?
Wouldn't mind it. Good skill to have.
Sure would. You'll be good at it.
You think so?
I know it. The way you focus on things. You're patient too. I could see you stalking deer, buffalo, hell. What about a bear?
It's crazy, Laura. Hell no.
You think Buffalo Bill would say hell no to a bear?
Nah.
That's what I thought.
I ain't ever even seen a bear.
Well, me either.
How you know there are any around here to hunt?
I guess I don't then. Buffalo it is.
Laurey starts playing again.
Quiet. They will know you're looking. They're just rinsing, looking for something to eat. Been a long day roaming, fighting, hiding from folks with guns and arrows.
I ain't even got those.
Shh. He will see ya. You're hiding up branch, stuck between a couple tree branches. When he gets right, ya range.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
We got to eat for weeks.
And without a bit of jerking, I pull the trigger.
Bam.
He goes down.
Where are you gonna get him?
Right in the gut.
Oh, don't.
What?
You're gonna get him in the gut? He's gonna bleed out, suffering until the end. Ain't human at all.
Human?
That thing was born and raised by something. It's gotta have some idea of family. You heartless enough to kill it, and with no mercy.
I ain't heartless.
I didn't think so. Prove it.
All right, I got in the head. Out quick.
That's better. Now we gotta put that buffalo to good use. Honor the thing.
You honor a buffalo?
Ain't we all God's creatures?
Speaking some wild ideas, Laurey.
The hide, some leather. The fur, something warm for the winter. The flesh is food for everybody.
I was just gonna eat him.
If you waste any part of that animal, you ain't hunting at all. You murdering, in my opinion, that is.
Who gives you these thoughts?
My daddy mostly, mama too.
I ain't never got to meet your daddy before. Or your mama.
No need, imagine me, but taller.
You a spitting image?
Sure am.
Mama told me I could be mistaken for my daddy. We resemble so much.
Mine says it's because I am so pretty.
Yeah, whatever.
You could take it up with Leo Jackson.
Leo who?
You ain't ever meet him. He goes to my school.
You go to school?
Don't you?
My daddy says there ain't nothing the Bible can't teach me right here at home.
What about Arctics?
I don't know what that is, so it's either a sin or I just didn't get to that chapter yet.
Well, Leo and I are fixing to get married one day. Talk about it all the time. He says I'm the finest woman he ever met.
How you talk about getting married already? You ain't any older than me and I ain't thinking of it.
Ain't much else to say besides, I'm in love. You fancying anybody, Judd?
Nah.
Anybody take liking to you these days?
Nah.
I find that hard to believe. Nice, hard-working fella like yourself. Heck, a bright future of buffalo hunting ahead of you, too.
I ain't have a gun to start that, by the way. That's the biggest problem you skipped.
Ain't got a gun? Huh. Well, didn't tell me there was a tool shed. What's in there?
My daddy and I use it all on the farm.
You ever seen a gun?
Course. Well, not up close, I suppose.
You got a couple options, then, I reckon. You could buy one.
What's the other options?
You could steal one, the money to buy one.
I don't foresee that going well.
Well, there's probably enough pieces in there to put something of a weapon together.
You think I could make a gun?
Or something of the like, sure.
Huh.
Boy, get on in here now. I'm calling you.
That's your dad?
Yeah. You better go. He'll be mad as heck if he comes in here and sees you.
How come I ain't ever meet your daddy?
You don't wanna. He's not too nice.
Ain't we friends?
Don't make me come out there and find you.
You best get out of sight. I'll find you tomorrow.
I look forward to it.
Me too.
Judd and Laurey look at each other for an extra second.
Hey!
They run off in opposite directions. Blackout.
Get a move on now, boy.
Lights up. Living room of the Frys. Present are Mr. Fry, 40s, and Dr. Jameson, 20s. Judd runs in.
You got brown-looking patches on you again. Damn it. You've been in the shed messing with my tools, ain't you? How many times I gotta tell you before you stop fooling with my machinery?
Howdy, Mr. Fry. Mind if I call you Judd? Well, I'll take that for a yes. My name's Dr. Clarence Jameson. I'm here all the way from Birmingham, Alabama. You know where that is, son?
You see, this is the kind of behavior we've been talking about. Speak when spoken to. Can't get the boy to say but a couple of words a day, if that.
Hey, there, Judd, can you tell me how old you are?
He's 17, 18 or so.
Is that right, Judd?
No.
Well, hello there. That's not right.
You say no?
You was wrong. I ain't 17, 18 or so. I'm 18 years, 3 months, and a week old.
Smart ass.
Smart ass.
Well, then, Mr. Fry, you mind if I conduct a handful of tests on your son here?
What kind of tests?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just a few questions to help me identify some possible diagnoses. Just routine examinations.
Mr. Fry looks stoic, skeptical. Dr. Jameson takes this as a cue to proceed.
You say you don't know where Alabama is. You ever heard of it? That right. It's a little ways east of us, so
Dr. Jameson pulls out a compass.
you could go right that way for about a day and a half, and you'll find yourself in Birmingham.
Judd's quiet and looking at the floor.
Son, I won't be able to do much if you don't help me a little first with...
I know where Alabama is, but I don't know where Birmingham is.
You don't know nothing about where Alabama is, boy. Quit lying.
Quit lying.
How'd you learn about Alabama, Judd?
There's a map in the tool shed Pop uses for hunting. He got friends come in each Friday evening talking about it.
And Alabama's on that map?
An arrow on the bottom right corner says Alabama, so I know Alabama is to our bottom right, but I don't know where Birmingham is.
Mm-hmm. And Friday, as in tomorrow evening.
You best shut your trap, boy.
Hold on now. You really know that tool shed well, don't you, Judd? Spend a lot of time in there? You know, like working with the tools?
He ain't working. He's throwing shit round, barely missing his own head. If he hadn't hit it already.
Please pardon my curt tone as I remind you that I can only perform my examination properly if you agree to speak only when I'm addressing you.
Excuse me?
If I need your input, I will clearly and directly ask you for it. Is that clear? Judd, what do you work on when you're in the tool shed?
Slingshots, mostly.
Slingshots?
Slingshots. Mostly.
What do you do with those?
Shoot things. Ain't that right?
Mr. Fry, please.
Shoot things.
I ain't wrong. Am I? Boy? Go on. Tell him.
You shoot things, Judd? Do you make anything else down there?
It's quiet, but there's something expectant in the air.
At all?
I'm working on a gun.
Guns are quite complex machines, son.
You say a gun?
What would you want to do with a gun, Judd?
Shoot things.
Sound of footsteps, someone coming in from outside.
Ah, shit.
Something the matter, Mr. Fry?
Go on outside a minute.
Getting dark.
I said outside.
I wasn't finished with my examination, Mr. Fry.
Fry enters.
The door's jamming again, Judd.
Judd starts running past her to exit.
Honey, be careful. Where you going? Is there some... Judd! Judd!
Let him on, Beth. He's fine.
What's going on here? I don't believe we've met.
My name is Clarence. I'm a specialist from the Birmingham County Hospital.
Alabama.
Indeed. Were you not aware of my being called for?
Must have gotten past me. Judd, what is the doctor doing here?
Oh, why do you think he's here, Beth?
How am I supposed to know?
Quit playing like it ain't obvious, damn it.
Mr. and Mrs. Fry, do not wish to be in the center of a quarrel, if you don't mind.
Forgive us, Mr. Clarence.
It's quite all right. Well, apparently it was not told to you, so allow me to inform. I'm here to evaluate a young boy named Judd. I believe he's your son.
Evaluate.
Yes, ma'am. It was told to me that some were worried for the boy's future.
You called this man without telling me?
What the hell else was we gonna do?
I have here that he's been very quiet, often solitary, not so good with his words.
That's right.
He's fine with his words. He's just a little shy.
The boy didn't say nothing till he was 4 years old, Beth. That a little shy. He can barely work the fields with me.
Do you bring him into the fields with you most days, Mr. Fry?
Sure, do. When I get him in a habit, so to speak, he can be useful. Mostly, he's a pain.
And what happens when he's a pain?
I get a little frustrated.
A little frustrated.
Yeah.
I understand. How do you get Judd into a habit, as you say?
I gotta tell him something over and over. Usually don't get it the first time. Find myself repeating and repeating, always having to say it different.
I see.
The boy takes things so damn, as I say them, literal like.
You could probably be more clear, Judd.
Always my damn fault, ain't it?
I can introduce what's happening, Mr. and Mrs. Fry.
You can?
I think it's right time for me to show you the door, Doctor.
What the hell you talking about? Ain't you gonna take him?
What the hell are you saying, Judd?
I'm not taking anyone anywhere tonight, Mrs. Fry.
What is getting into you, woman?
I don't want you getting rid of my son. That's just what you plan on doing, ain't it?
I'm not sure what would be best for him, Mrs. Fry.
What are you hinting at? Both of yous.
Mr. Fry, based on the little I've seen of young Judd and what you've told me, I'd say he's got a type of developmental retardation.
I could have told you he's an idiot.
Well, he's not an idiot. I'm fairly certain of that. An idiot can't do much more than a 2-year-old. And he's not an imbecile, which is about the same, but maybe a couple more years or so of cognitive development.
I'm not sure he can do much more than a 2-year-old.
My boy's not dumb, Judd.
She's right about that. And that's the difference. Let me ask you, how is Judd in the field? Working? Once you got him in that habit, as you said.
Boy keeps working till I come out and holler supper time. He's very good.
He repeats whatever I say to him like a damn parrot or something.
Does he ever stop?
Yeah. Eventually.
How do you get him to?
I don't think that matters.
Of course it matters.
You got something to say?
Ever seen him working on those machines in your tool shed?
I'm sure I have. Of course.
Have you, Mrs. Fry?
No, I haven't. But obviously he's wise enough not to hurt himself.
Why you keep treating him like a kind of genius?
You might want to take a look around in that tool shed, Mr. Fry.
I'm there plenty. He's the one who shouldn't be. The boy's an accident waiting to happen.
Quit saying that kind of thing, Judd.
Am I wrong? Ain't you got any kind of memory?
I may have some ideas.
Right about now, I believe you should be on your way, Mr. Clarence.
There are some institutions that may do a great deal for Judd if we
We're not interested.
Woman, what do you think you're doing?
He's gonna take away our boy, Judd. Can't you see that?
The kid's an idiot. He's useless. What the hell should we care if he's gone?
Excuse me?
Once again, I do not wish to be in the center of an argument. If you want my opinion, I'll be glad to return another time.
Go.
Hey, you know what? Yes. Why don't you come on back tomorrow? I think we have more to discuss ourselves.
Dr. Jameson exits, blackout on stage as a starry night becomes visible. Directly after the last scene, Dr. Jameson is approaching Judd. Judd is sitting on the grass, pulling it up and counting the blades. He keeps that up throughout the scene until otherwise noted.
I hope I wasn't too much of a scare, son. I can imagine having a doctor come and ask about yourself is quite a bit to take in. Have you ever been asked about your likes and dislikes?
Nothing from Judd.
Thought so. What you doing there? Counting grass?
Counting grass.
I see. How many have you gotten up to?
793.
That's a lot. You like to count?
Yes.
You count much in the tool shed?
Sometimes.
Can you tell me about the tool shed? What's all in there?
Tools.
Right. I figured that. Could you be any more specific?
3 rakes, 3 spades, 2 hoes, 2 pitchforks, 2 wheelbarrows, 2 scythes, 1 axe, 1 hatchet, 1 plow, and 1 sickle.
Well, that is more specific. And you said your dad's got a map in there that you know well, too. Is that the case?
Yes.
For hunting, you said?
For hunting.
Well, what's the hunt? Deer, cattle, coyotes. I imagine there's excellent game around here, so...
People. Colored folk.
Colored folk. He doesn't like it much when you mention that.
Hey, I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't know that.
How'd you learn what the map was for, Judd?
I don't. That's just what makes sense. I didn't put it together till after Laurey left.
Laurey?
A bunch of names is written on it, some with slashes through them. Williams was on the map. I didn't know a place called Williams. I only knew that was Laurey's last name.
Laurey. Laurey's a friend of yours.
Yes,
Is she colored?
she's brown.
I see. I take it your pop doesn't know about her.
Pop doesn't know she's my close friend.
What makes her a close friend?
She's always around.
Oh, close. What about how you talk to each other? Is she nice?
Yes, she's real nice to me.
What do you two like to talk about?
Lots of things. She's just like me most ways.
Do either of your families know she's your close friend?
No,
How'd that make you feel, son? Seeing her name on the map. And you've seen men come over here every Friday, you said, and talk about those names on the map? I can imagine that's awfully scary for you. Does your father know you've seen the men? You have any idea how he'd react if he did? Judd, now that we're alone, I need to ask you again. What would you want to do with a gun?
shoot things.
Right. What things?
Buffalo. Oh, mostly. Mad also.
What?
I was thinking about you asking how it made me feel to see Laurey's name on the map. Mad.
Well, Judd, listen, now, I'll be back again tomorrow, all right? Can you promise me no guns until at least then? Now, you know my face? You know, I mean, no.
Dr. Jameson puts a hand on Judd's shoulder.
Judd, what's the matter, son?
No! No! No!
Judd,
No!
Judd curls up, no longer counting grass, panting. Mr. Fry's voice is heard.
You wait and be quiet. I ain't through talking to you yet.
Mr. Fry enters.
The hell's going on out here? I thought I told you to get off my property.
Leaving now, Mr. Fry.
Good. Get inside, up to your room.
Judd is still curled up, seemingly inconsolable.
Hey, you hear me, boy?
Mr. Fry approaches Judd, grabbing at his collar.
I said inside!
Mr. Fry looks up at Dr. Jameson.
What are you looking at?
Blackout. After a moment, Laurey's voice begins.
He say anything else to you?
Who?
What do you mean, who? The doctor, silly.
I done told you what happened, Laurey. Daddy came outside and sent him on his way. Wasn't much to say after that.
Why ain't your daddy take to Dr. Jameson?
Not sure he minds Dr. Jameson. I think he was just mad at Mama. See what I mean?
Lights up and we're in the woods.
I guess so.
Pa does that a lot. He gets real angry and shouts and hollers.
I'm glad I ain't have to see that.
Me too.
He's bad to your mama.
He says everything he does to Mama, he does 'cause he loves her.
Not sure that's love, Judd. Leo ain't to touch me for me to know he loves me.
Here you go on about that Leo again.
I don't talk about him that much, or do I?
All the time.
Well, he's special to me. What can I say? Boys is on my mind a lot. Same way, I reckon, you're on your mama's mind. And your daddy, too, probably.
My daddy doesn't give 1 ounce of thought to me. My mama maybe, but Daddy don't care.
You don't think so? Not for his son?
I'm nothing to him except a farmhand, and not even a good one at that.
If he didn't care, why would he have a doctor named come try to help you out?
He wanted the doctor to take me away.
Take you away?
One of them places for idiots.
Whoa.
Being here, I'm wasting space, Laurey. That's what he thinks.
Your mama too?
Probably.
Can't be, Judd. It just can't be. She's gotta love you. You're her own. And you ain't got any brothers or sisters?
Judd pauses for a moment, then gets back tinkering with a stick or rock.
What was that?
I didn't do nothing.
Yes, you did. I saw you. You held still for a second, like you had a thought, and then put it away.
That is what I did.
Well, ain't it safer place than right here, trees and all. What's in your mind, Judd?
Forget it, Laurey. Don't pay it no mind.
Is any way to treat your best friend, leaving her hanging on a clip?
Am I your best friend?
Who else would be?
Leo?
Well, no. He's like you're my best friend.
Huh. Well, you too.
Well, what are you gonna say?
Well, see, my mama had 2 babies when I was born. There was me and I had a brother, Ellis.
You ain't never talk about Ellis.
I ain't supposed to.
You don't gotta?
Should.
What happened to him?
He and I was twins. I was older by 58 minutes, so I got Pa's name, but even though I was older, I didn't talk much at all. He was the one teaching me, looking out for me. Not the way it usually is. He's the one who taught me about Buffalo Bill.
He's always gotta be Cody, I reckon.
Nah, you'd think, but he always let me be Cody.
That's kind.
We played Buffalo Bill in these woods, truly. Did it all the time. He'd hide up in a tree. High ones, too, like that one there. Being Bill Comstock, he'd be saying, "You're going down, Bill Cody. You ain't got a chance."
Like us?
Yeah, like us. He liked to throw rocks, and I like slingshots, because my daddy showed us how to make them, and I did it really good. They was the weapons. He always got me on account of I was never looking in the right spot, and he'd surprise me, he'd get me tripping on a rock, and he'd say it was a trap he set. Or he'd dig little holes, and I'd fall in them, and I'd have to go, "All right, Comstock, you win this time."
But Comstock never wins.
I wish he did more.
Why?
This one day, he was up in a tree like normal, but I saw him early. I walked real slow and careful to stay quiet and avoid his traps. I thought I was so clever. I snuck up real quiet and shot a little rock up at him with my slingshot. Perfect aim. I couldn't believe I was really about to get him. Finally, I was going to win. But the pebble got him right near the edge of his eye. He couldn't see nothing for a second and started flailing up on the branch. I didn't realize anything was going wrong. I called up there, "Buffalo Bill did finally win. Buffalo meat for all his kin." But he couldn't tell what was happening, and he couldn't see anything to grab onto for before he fell, landing on his head. I could hear his neck break,
Judd?
his arm.
Mercy, Judd.
I just sat there and stared at his body. I didn't know what to do.
You was probably shocked or something.
I sat there till dark when they came looking for us, shouting and hollering our names, but I didn't answer. Dad knew something was wrong, because else would never disrespect him like that. Always complied and always threw a sir on the end of it, too.
Was he mad?
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty mad.
That's so scary.
Ellis didn't have problems in the fields with Daddy. Always did as he was told. Knew how to wrangle cattle, too. Didn't need nothing repeated.
What about your mama?
She loved him like every day was his birthday. But she paid extra mind to me, and she told him that.
How do you?
He told me. He said Mama thought I was a special case.
You is a special case, Judd? I know it,
You mean it?
of course.
Thanks, Laurey.
Why do you keep playing Buffalo Bills with me? Ain't it troubling?
Reminds me more of the good times than the bad. I reckon he'd have wanted me to play for him.
Where did it all happen? You and Ellis.
When did I kill him?
You didn't kill him, Judd.
10 years, 4 months, and 2 days ago.
Say you didn't kill him.
Of course I did! It was my rock!
You didn't mean to. It was on an accident.
Running around today if it weren't for me.
A lot of things would be different if there were no accidents.
We wouldn't have known each other if he was still alive, Laurey.
Yes, you would. I'm here no matter what. My daddy says everything happens for a reason.
Well, of course, but now I'm all confused.
I'm here anyway, ain't I? I think my daddy's right. And yeah, it's no good. You lost your brother. I'm glad that made us find each other, ain't you? Your daddy's the one who says you killed Ellis. Well, you didn't, Judd.
Facts is facts, Laurey.
Yeah, but
But what?
there's more facts to all of it, Judd.
Okay.
First of all, killing and murdering is two different things. You certainly didn't murder Ellis. That would mean you knew he was going to die and you stayed out of the way of it.
So I killed him.
No, breaking his neck what killed him, I reckon.
How does breaking a bone kill you?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, it's just a busted bone and that hurts, but so what?
Was he bleeding when he fell?
A lot.
Well, that's what did it, Judd, not you. Losing a bunch of blood killed him.
But I could have rushed him home or something.
You also couldn't not play that day. You can't be mixing up what you could have done, what you thought of at the time. If you do that, then no matter what, it will be your fault. The fact that you didn't want him to die and that's nothing was on purpose is all that matters.
My intentions don't make him alive.
But intentions is what proves you are alive and you didn't murder him, Judd. You didn't kill him. I know you don't have that in you. I think you misslaughtered him.
What?
Technically, I think. I know that sounds really bad, but I'm almost positive that means it was on an accident.
Judd's upset. Laurey was just being logical about it all. Change the subject, Laurey.
Where was the doctor from?
All the way from Birmingham, Alabama.
They wanted to take you all the way to Alabama?
Mama don't want me to go, but Daddy will win that fight.
I don't know what I would do if you was gone, Judd.
Me neither.
You, my best and my only friend.
Only two? What about Leo?
Well, still, I know you longer.
You're my best and only friend, too.
Laurey smiles. Judd looks around at the sticks and rocks.
If I don't finish a gun at home in time, I can make a heck of a slingshot with these.
You're working on a gun?
Remember? For hunting?
Oh, yeah. What do you mean, in time?
Oh. Just quickly is all.
Oh, well, you can do it, I bet.
I believe you saying that more than me.
You don't often believe much in yourself, do you, Judd?
I don't know how you mean.
I didn't think so.
There's a rustling on the leaves from a distance.
Oh no.
Boy, you out here?
That's your daddy?
I've been calling you for supper. I know you're out here.
Laurey, hide.
Why?
Hide! Hide!
What you doing out here, boy? I'm getting impatient.
Laurey ducks behind a tree. She's still visible to the audience. Mr. Fry enters, finding Judd.
Why the hell ain't you answering me? I've been calling you. Your mother's got supper on the table. What are you doing anyways? Just sitting here?
I didn't hear you.
Bet you knew the time, though, didn't you? Don't lie to me, boy. What are you hiding down here?
Judd doesn't say anything, avoids eye contact as usual. Mr. Fry holds Judd's head, forcing him to be face to face.
A gun? Daddy? Ain't that what you said to the doctor? What, you bring it outside so I couldn't find it? Look at me. Hey! Believe me, I know what guns look like. I'm sure I can find one. It ain't worth lying about.
He stops, touching Judd, who is clearly shaken.
Ain't hiding a gun.
Mr. Fry starts to walk casually around the woods, closely looking at everything, trying to spy something out of the ordinary. He comes very close to Laurey at one point, but doesn't catch sight of her.
Uh-huh. You see, I know you, boy. I know you ain't one to lie. No, sir. In fact, you can't do much else but take things exactly as you hear them. So that tells me that no, you didn't hear me. I'll say that was a kind of accident. And you ain't hiding a gun, no. I suppose you ain't even got one. Can't hide what you don't have. That's why you said what you said. But you must be hiding something else. Am I right? Or am I right?
At this point, Mr. Fry has gotten back to Judd's location.
Well? Ugh! Don't matter. I got more important things to attend to. You got 5 minutes to get inside, and the shed's off limits, especially tonight. Got it? Toughen up. Christ, look at you. I tried. Boy, I tried. But we can't sit by pretending you belong with us here. Maybe one day, but it sure as hell ain't soon. 5 minutes.
He exits. Laurey stands up from her hiding spot. She walks toward Judd on the ground and isn't sure what to do for a moment. Then, as if taught, she lies on the ground beside him. Lights fade to blackout. Later the same evening, inside the Fry home, we see Mrs. Fry washing dishes, cleaning the kitchen. There's a knock at the door. Mrs. Fry assumes it's Mr. Fry returning from the shed.
Should be open, Judd.
Dr. Jameson enters cautiously. She doesn't see him yet.
Say, that was a much shorter meeting than last time. What are you doing here?
Mrs. Fry, I was told to come back again today, and I feel it's important we speak about...
Judd may have told you to come back, but if I could have spoken, I would have made it very clear you are not welcome. Not by me one bit.
I understand that, ma'am. Believe me, I do.
Well, wonderful. If you understand that, then I'll be glad to show you out.
Mrs. Fry, I have to speak with you for your son's sake.
You don't know anything about my boy.
I know he's very bright. He's got the ability to count great numbers. His memory is without flaw, and I know he's deeply affected by his father.
You shouldn't be here.
I need to be.
That ain't up to you. People call doctors, not the other way around.
I was called, and I would have come back even if you threatened me not to.
Who the hell do you think you are?
I'm someone who knows what he's talking about.
You telling me I'm some kind of idiot in my own home?
I know what I'm looking at, Mrs. Fry. I know an anomaly when I see one.
You're trying to confuse me.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry if I did. Judd's a smart kid. Stunted by something in his brain. I don't know what yet. He's mentally far beyond his age and socially far behind. And if we don't take some kind of action, that gap's only going to grow.
I'm gonna tell you one last time to get off this property before I take a different kind of action.
Where do you see Judd's life going exactly?
Excuse me?
I've seen people like Judd before, Mrs. Fry. They isolate. They never find people like them. They grow deeply depressed and they die miserably, quietly. I'm worried for him. That's why I'm here.
You're here to take my other son away from me.
Other son?
I misspoke. I meant to say only. See, you're startling me. Judd is just shy. He'll find his way. I know it.
Not if his father keeps beating him and his mother lets him.
Dr. Jameson can't believe he just said that.
How dare you?
Sorry,
I will raise my son the best way I know how. And no, of course, I don't want Judd getting beaten left and right. But you know who has to take it when he don't? No. I'll bet you never thought of that. I don't like repeating myself, Mr. Clarence. Leave my house.
Your Judd is trying to build a gun, Mrs. Fry.
You don't know how.
We'll figure it out. He's memorized the materials in the tool shed. He told me so.
What?
Last night, outside, on the porch. Each time I asked, he just said it's for shooting things. Perhaps you have a better idea what he's referring to? He told me it'd be for shooting buffalo, but then he corrected himself. Buffalo, mostly.
He ain't ever even seen a buffalo.
Can you understand my urgency now, ma'am?
Judd don't have it in him to do no harm. Not on purpose.
Purposeful or not, harm can be done. And purpose doesn't have a thing to do with impact.
He ain't even ever seen a gun. How do you know how to make one?
Doesn't find one, he'll at least outfit something akin to a weapon.
So, what's it I'm supposed to do? Ban him from the shed? Keep him in his room? As soon as he's not occupied, he's acting out, misbehaving.
He wants the attention. He needs it.
That's what friends are for, ain't they?
He doesn't know how to make friends. And I imagine his idea of a friend is different than yours or mine.
How could that be?
If you ask him what a close friend is, he says it's a friend who's not far away.
Ain't that right?
Mrs. Fry.
What?
People like Judd easily mistake politeness for affection.
So I gotta be there with him constantly to tell him the difference?
No, you have to send him to a place where people specialize.
I'm not sending him anywhere. He's the only boy I got left.
Okay,
Damn it!
There you go again about more children. Does he have a sibling?
No. I forget I said that. You're making me upset. That's all. He's not going anywhere. I refuse.
Then Judd's life is going to be working fields. Unless by some stroke of divine intervention he finds someone who can see past his differences and love him, his life will be grunt work. Bereft of a family to provide for, he needs help to learn the world.
Learn the world? Like it's a game?
Yes, exactly.
What could experts do that his own mother can't?
Recognize his behaviors and refer to similar cases. That's being a doctor.
Cases.
Yes, it's untender, but that's the only word for it. Can you just help me understand Judd more? His condition is rare and somehow especially linked to violence, it seems. Can you think of anything that may have inspired that?
No.
An event of some kind that'd be somehow burned into his memory? Your husband beats the boy, I gathered.
My husband don't do anything his daddy didn't do to him.
No, he does. Does your husband interact with Judd much if he's not acting out? I suppose not. Mrs. Fry, wouldn't you rather a terrible shout than a deaf ear or a blind eye? Something that says you're alive.
What about the love he gets from me?
Children can't grow up leaning on a single parent.
He don't lean much on anyone.
It is not uncommon that someone like Judd would be prone to being solitary. But he seems to be reacting to a harsh association of sorts. Physical contact reminds him of something else. Any of this ring a bell?
The boy wasn't, touched or nothing. That's what your sick mind's hinting at.
I meant like a bad beating. When he was young enough for it to stick rather badly.
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Yeah, I think a memory like that would stick out like a sore thumb.
I don't understand. What are you asking for?
What might he remember when someone lays a hand on him?
I don't know.
Did he ever go to school?
Homeschooled.
With what materials?
That ain't none of your business, Mr. Clarence.
You take him to church.
Study the Bible right here.
So when was he supposed to learn what being around other people was like?
Excuse me?
When was he
What
going?
are you implying about how I chose to raise my son?
There are schools where I'm from that are specially designed to help students like Judd.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Fry, why does it not appeal to you to send him where his talents could be honed?
You ain't got any kids of your own, do you?
No, ma'am.
Well, that's mighty clear. My son's no idiot, and he's not going nowhere.
Don't you see how wholeheartedly I agree?
Mrs. Fry is nervous. She doesn't know how to respond.
Where are Judd and Mr. Fry now?
He's having one of his meetings out in the tool shed. And if he ain't out there now, he went with the men who came. Of course, the clouds look gray. I'm surprised it ain't raining yet. They may postpone whatever it is they were up to.
Mrs. Fry, I also do feel obligated to tell you that being affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan has been deemed unconstitutional for nearly 10 years now.
Who said anything about the Ku Klux Klan?
Does your husband know that Judd's friend is Laurey Williams?
Judd don't have any friends. And he certainly ain't friends with the Williams.
I must have misheard.
Listen, Mr. Clarence. You coming here saying a whole lot of things I'm having trouble understanding and coming to terms with. If you'd like to come back another time to discuss my son, I'll invite you to send a letter ahead of time. I can't handle all this at once.
I will. Believe me when I tell you, Mrs. Fry, I have every intention of coming back.
Dr. Jameson pauses on his way out.
Judd does not have to be punished the same way Adam was. And if I may borrow a sentiment from the same piece, you are your son's keeper.
He exits. Blackout. Sound of heavy rain begins. Judd's bedroom. Heavy rain sounds continue. Judd is alone in his bedroom working with pieces of tools he's taken from the shed. He's got something of a slingshot device prototype he's inspecting. He's fixated on it. Beginning to stand, he carefully practices loading it, miming. Then finding an appropriate position to shoot from. Then aiming it, he then practices pulling it back. Just as he's about to practice firing it, there's a large thunderclap. This sends Judd into a type of panic attack. He writhes on the floor, covering his ears, breathing heavily and shortly, making a repetitive, unintelligible sound. He's trying to relieve a large sensory-induced level of stress by stimming. Laurey appears on the opposite side of the stage.
Hey, it's just thunder, Judd. The clouds is just shaking hands. They're making friends, like you and me. I know it's
struggling.
I know it's mighty loud. I know it's a sound that you like. Probably sounds a lot like shouting, doesn't it? Or being hit reminds me an awful lot of that sound myself. But the good news is you ain't got to worry about thunder hurting you, not one bit. Best part is the rain that falls afterwards. That everyone's favorite part. Crops gets their water, trees too. Flowers grow so pretty. I don't know if you've ever noticed, Judd, but things get quieter right after it rains too. The leaves and the sticks that you crouch on get wet, and suddenly a walk doesn't make a sound. Instead, all you can hear is the life around you going on about its own business. We ain't, but rarely ever get to join them. I think my favorite part is how the rain feels when it falls on me, though. Don't you think so too? The water makes a little splash when it lands on my forehead, and suddenly I can feel it run down my face. In heavy rain like this, I get to feel it a million more times in a row. It feels like it's dressing me with water, giving me a big hug, and I can reach out my arms and it's just keep loving on me. I don't know if that's quite right, but am I making any sense to you, Judd?
Yes. Laurey, you make perfect sense.
A loud thunderclap. Laurey vanishes. Judd is unfazed.
Perfect sense to me.
Blackout. Another loud thunderclap. Heavy rain sounds continue. Soon after. Sound of storm continues. Very dim lights on Mr. Fry's tool shed. It is a ramshackle garage with an ominous darkness to it. Mr. Fry is a farmer. There is one entrance. We should see 3 rakes, 3 spades, 2 hoes, 2 pitchforks, 2 wheelbarrows, 2 scythes, 1 axe, 1 hatchet, 1 plow, and 1 sickle. They are scattered all over the wall and on the ground, thus a dangerous place to play. There is a work table with a rag on it, perhaps some metal shards. There is a map on the wall of Panola County, annotated with handwritten names and dates, freshly edited. The tool shed should be crowded. It is certainly not a place for children, certainly not a place to be careless. No one is inside, but many just were. The door rattles open, revealing Dr. Jameson. He takes the room in, searching for anything that will help him learn about Judd. He first finds the remains of the tools that Judd's been working with. He then sees the map on the wall that Judd was referring to. The map should be horrifying, especially once we know what it is. We haven't seen it unfurled in an ominous light until now. It's got a massive 311 handwritten along the top like a header. It's got routes connecting each town in the country with family names written, circled, and crossed out all over. The Williams family name is circled, not crossed out. There is also a handwritten tally on the map indicating 12. The items the tally is counting are not listed, but we can guess. As Dr. Jameson is taking it all in, the door squeaks and slowly swings open, revealing Mr. Fry in the doorway, carrying a pouch.
Good to be under a roof in all this rain, ain't it, Doctor?
Dr. Jameson freezes, then slowly turns to face Mr. Fry.
Well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm right grateful to have a roof I call mine. I don't like much how the floor creaks when you walk on it, though. Door's a squeaker, too. But I'm accommodating to folks who don't seem to have their own.
It's kind of you.
It's a shame when heavy rain puts a damper on evening plans, don't you think? I sure don't like calling off things I look forward to.
What were you doing?
Granted, I also forgot I'd run out of rope, so I suppose everything happens for a reason. You, looking for something in particular, Doctor?
I know what the number on the map means. I know what it stands for.
The 311 or the scoreboard?
What?
Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think 311 means?
What's the scoreboard mean?
Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think 311 means?
It's not
Doctor.
311. It's 311. The 11th letter of the alphabet is K, and 3 times the 11th letter is K, K.
K, K, K. Very good.
You're a Klansman.
I'm the foremost Klansman of this here county. Yes, sir.
Mr. Fry, working with the Ku Klux Klan is a crime. You're breaking the federal law of the land.
I am.
Yes, you could be imprisoned.
You ain't gonna tell, are you?
Well, I should report you.
To Sheriff Cunningham?
To him or Deputy Clark, I reckon so.
Oh, hell, gosh darn it. They can't have gotten too far by now. They only just left with the rest. If you run, you can probably still catch them.
There.
Indeed. But if it's against the law... Now, wait a second. Ain't murder against the law, too?
Of course.
Killing a man, that's against the law?
Yes, what?
It's a crime.
Of course, I don't know what you're
How come no one's going after the man who shot dead Cletus Fry? How come no one wants to bring to justice the contraband who pointed a rifle at my brother and emptied a barrel into his chest on his own damn hook? I bet you don't know what that means, do you? You know what on his own hook means?
No.
Means you do something without having orders to do it. You ever fought in battle?
No, but I...
Can't say I'm shocked. I bet you ain't never even raised a dirty hand. I was 15 when I held my first rifle. 15. In combat. Could hardly hold it straight. Barely remembered how to reload the thing. Nervous as hell. The only thing that kept me on the ground was my brother. Cletus was 2 years older than me, and he knew it all. Fearless soldier, like he'd been warring for years already. I remember asking him, "What does Confederate mean, Cletus?" And he said, "It means we fight for what we believe in. We fight for keeping things the way they should be." I'll tell you the truth, Doc. I ain't ever come to learn what started all that hellfire, but I ain't have to. All I know is what I saw in the eyes of a black man in a blue uniform on May 17th, 1863.
Pleasure.
Big Black River Bridge, Hines County. General Pemberton sent us and 2 other brigades to the bridge to man the forts there under General Bowen. Yankees looked like they was fixing to keep on heading up to Vicksburg, so we weren't expecting nothing, especially not a surprise attack.
An ambush.
More than an ambush, Doc. A massacre. What are you supposed to do when you're green, unprepared, caught off guard? Well, no one tells you what to do then. You run.
So you ran.
Not before we was caught. 2 blowhards had us in a corner.
You and Cletus.
One of them was white. He had a knife. The other one was black. Had himself a rifle. Both about our ages, too. We was pressed up, nowhere to run, and Cletus raised his hands, slowly. He said, "You gonna shoot anyone, shoot me. My brother's still a kid." Son of a bitch said it didn't matter. He'd shoot us both. So Cletus made a run at him. Last choice on the table. I made a run at the other one. Started beating him as hard as I could. The black one ran back at Cletus, and Cletus ran right into the bayonet. The black one shot the rifle just after, but my brother was already sure as dead. And up against the wall, there wasn't no point in shooting when he did. And I saw him on the end of the rifle, watched the life leave him. And then I looked at the black deadbeat in control. I looked in his eyes while he twisted the blade into Cletus, into my brother. The devil's smile started onto that animal's face while he did it, and you want to know what was in his eyes?
Pleasure.
Damn right.
Mr. Fry, I'm sorry your brother was killed. But
Yeah, well, I'm sorry too, Doc. Why don't we all just gather round and beg forgiveness, huh? You think that'll do the trick? No. Hell no. I've been doing that every Sunday for 28 years. I've been begging the good Lord to forgive me for not stopping that son of a bitch from taking away the only friend I ever known, to forgive me for living this damn long. I'll tell you what fixes things. Revenge.
Fry, I'm not here for anyone else but Judd. I'm here for your son's sake.
That boy ain't a part of this.
I know. And thank God he isn't. He knows about the map, Mr. Fry.
Good. Maybe he can make himself useful.
He knows you're after the Williams family.
What's he care about the Williams?
His only friend is Laurey Williams.
He ain't friends with no one. Certainly ain't friends with no colored girl.
He told me about her. He'll try to protect her. No matter how often you beat him or what you yell at him.
That's so.
Why do you think he's working on a gun?
He's just talking and he don't know nothing about the map.
He certainly does. He understands the names, the routes, but he never mentioned the tallies.
The score? Boy, I can't figure that one out, I'm sure.
What is it?
It's frustrating is what it is. There's only 12. Should have been 13 after tonight. See, we gotta work slow, or else we'll catch too much attention.
What are you counting?
What you think I'm counting? It's called a damn scoreboard, ain't it?
What kind of game do you think this is? It's lives, it's families, it's human beings.
I am a seeker of justice, Dr. Clarence.
You're killing people.
People.
Excuse me?
Someone who shoots the man surrendering right in front of his family, twists the blade into his already dead body, and has a damn good time doing it. You put that on the same level as you and me? You call that a person?
I don't call it right, but I call it something I understand. And considering your feelings on vengeance, I'm surprised you don't as well.
You understand.
Mr. Fry,
You what? See where he's coming from?
No, but I just...
Mr. Fry takes a pistol from his pouch.
Mr. Fry, I...
Boy ain't never seen this gun. He don't even know I have it. But when you hang a man from a tree, he sometimes don't die for a bit. He starts squirming, wheezing, making a real racket. So you gotta bring one of these to finish the job. You making a whole lot of racket right now, in my opinion, Doctor.
Listen, Judd needs to be working with his strengths. He needs attention. He'll act out just to be acknowledged. Every time you yell at him, every time you beat him, you're telling him that's what being seen looks like.
Being seen?
He's working on a weapon, and he'll succeed. I know it. He's smart.
Mr. Fry cocks the gun.
You killed the Williams family, and Judd will kill you. Or will try. Revenge is a value that you gave to him.
Oh, is it?
You kill more colored folk, it's a matter of time before you get arrested by someone bigger. Don't forget the war.
Don't you dare tell me about the war.
I'm sorry.
You don't know a damn thing of what you're talking about. You young Southern Yankee think you know all about the world already. Well, let me tell you something. Some people ain't people. They don't deserve to be in my house, and in the house of God, they ain't welcome. And sometimes you gotta take action to make things right. The boy is wasting space, always has been, since he let his brother Ellis bleed out. Didn't do a damn thing. He tell you about that? Left him there to die? It ain't surprising me. Come to think of it, if he made friends with some colored girl, both of them ain't worth nothing.
He had a brother.
Yes, sir.
That's the memory.
Mr. Fry raises the gun at Dr. Jameson.
Mr. Fry, don't do this.
Can't have you putting thoughts into his head, going back to Alabama, knowing about the Klan here. I'll get some other doctor down here. Put Judd somewhere he ain't making trouble.
No, I won't say anything.
You surrendering to me? Right now?
Yes.
Well,
Mr. Fry lowers the gun.
sometimes that don't matter.
Mr. Fry shoots. Blackout and thunderclap. Rain ceases. It's now day. Technically, the last scene was a Friday, but a few days have passed. The following Thursday. No sign of Dr. Jameson. Mrs. Fry sits and writes. Judd runs in front upstairs on his way outside.
Hey, come on, no running in this house.
Judd slows down, no change in focus. She stops him.
Boy, where you running to anyway?
Outside,
Where?
tool shed,
What for?
playing.
I thought we said no playing in the tool shed.
I need to go to the tool shed first, then go back to playing outside.
What's in the tool shed?
3 rakes, 3 spades, 2 hoes.
Okay. You seen your daddy anywhere?
Went to town,
What'd he do that for?
out a rope.
Well, okay. You just seem in such a rush. You know, Judd, I'd like to talk to you about something while we have the time. Sit down.
Judd is restless.
I really want to go play, Mama.
I know you do. I know. But listen for a minute, and you can play again real soon. I'm writing a letter now to Dr. Clarence. You remember him?
Dr. Jameson.
Yes, Dr. Jameson. You remember. I'm writing him a letter because he said he was coming back last week and he ain't shown up. He tell you anything about when he's coming back?
No.
Huh. I can't figure out where he's gone to.
I want to go play.
I know. But Jesus, Judd, I need you to pay attention. Okay. Listen, Dr. Jameson was talking to me about some schools that might be good for you.
No!
Hey!
No! I can't go away.
Judd can't leave. He has Laurey to protect and a gun to finish, so he can do just that.
Okay.
I gotta stay until I fix it.
Okay, god damn it, Judd, makes sense. For 1 second.
Judd's withdrawn. That shook him up.
Judd. Okay. Listen to me. I'm not sending you nowhere right now. We're just talking. Okay?
Judd's quiet, still calming down.
Doctor told me you're real smart. Just got a tough time showing it. I know you're smart, Judd. You know that too, right?
Judd's not connecting.
It's true. And he was saying that down here it might be real hard for you to do what you do best. You like working on things in the shed, don't you?
Yes.
Well, there's places that are just like great big tool sheds.
Great big tool sheds?
For people just like you. And people you can make friends with.
I got a friend.
You do?
Judd nods.
I really want to go, Ma.
I know, but this is more important. Dr. Jameson told me that people like you have got a tough time fitting in, and
The thought of her failing her son should really hit her right now.
we ain't never really give you much of a chance to try.
Mama?
You like working on the farm with Daddy much?
No.
I didn't think so. Judd, that may not be what you gotta do forever, you know? What if you was a engineer or a carpenter? Wouldn't that be something, Judd?
I don't know what those are.
There are people who work in great big tool sheds all day.
I couldn't do that, though, Ma.
Why you think so?
Can't do much more than a 2-year-old.
That ain't the truth, Judd.
Uh-huh, as far as I know.
I know. It ain't right keeping a boy like you here on this farm for the rest of his life. It ain't. You're too smart to be doing simple tasks forever.
I can't go away, Mama.
Doesn't it sound good to be using tools and working on things all the time? And make friends with people who could tell you how to build your slingshots. And maybe make some friends with someone you could be with for a long time.
You mean like a best friend?
Well, we all got best friends, I reckon. I mean to say, someone kind of like a best and only friend. Maybe a nice girl, even.
I got a friend like that, Mama.
Judd, I ain't never seen you play with nobody. Who do you think are your friends?
Laurey runs into the house.
See, Judd Fry, I told you I didn't need your help getting here. I knew the way.
Laurey stops dead in her tracks, locking eyes with Mrs. Fry. A long beat.
Pardon me?
You must be Judd's mama.
Indeed I am.
I thought nobody was.
You tell her to come over, Judd?
Judd
Miss
silent.
Williams, listen to me closely. I want you to get out of sight of this property, you understand? It is in your best interest not to be seen here. Whenever you can come back, Judd will come and get you. You understand that, Laurey?
Laurey is quiet, terrified.
It's Laurey, ain't it?
Laurey nods quickly.
Well, if you heard me, then get a move on.
Laurey runs off.
How'd you know her name?
Doctor told me you two was friends. I didn't believe him. She's your best and only friend, you think, Judd?
Yes.
How'd you meet her?
Daddy said a colored family moved in too close, and one night I ran around looking. I didn't know what color he meant.
You didn't know what color he meant?
He just said colored. He didn't say what color.
Jesus, Judd.
And when I asked, he slapped me for talking back.
Then what?
Lights begin to dim as Judd details how he and Laurey met. On another area of the stage, 2 children appear, representing Judd and Laurey, both about age 9. Laurey lays on a rock, say, looking up at the sky, mumbling to herself. Judd approaches slowly.
I ran around after you and Daddy was asleep, looking for a family I didn't recognize. Then I heard this girl outside looking up at the stars. It was so late, though, and so dark, I couldn't tell what color she was at all.
That was Laurey?
That was Laurey. She told me her name was Laurey Williams, and she told me about all the stars she was looking at, calling them constellations, and I didn't know what that meant, but she sure did.
Lights out on Judd and Mrs. Fry. Lights are on young Judd and young Laurey in a way that conveys nighttime. They can't see each other, but we can.
And his belt made up the handle. Wait, no,
Hey, someone there?
Oh, no,
Who is that?
nobody.
Well, that's a funny name.
Who's asking?
Nobody.
That's my name.
I'm asking.
Well, I'm just minding my business, looking at consolation, and I do not need help. Thank you.
Looking at the what?
A consolation. Ain't you know a consolation?
No.
Um,
What's the constellations?
I ain't supposed to talk with strangers. I'm ready talking too much with you, whoever you are.
I'm Judd. Judd Fry.
I'm Laurey Williams.
Hello, Laura Williams.
Hello yourself.
How old are you?
You first.
Me what?
How old are you?
9 years, 11 months, and 29 days.
Wow.
How old are you?
9. Well, I suppose you ain't a stranger no more. The consolation is the picture the stars makes you ever play connect the dots.
No.
Oh, well, that's how I describe it. It's like connected the dots in the sky.
But there's a million dots.
Yeah, but if you look at certain ones, you can see shapes, those patterns.
I'm looking.
I love patterns.
Me too, but I don't see none.
Well, you ain't gonna see them right away. I can't, though.
Ham?
Yes, sir. Look straight up over us. My mama told me that's Aquarius.
Aquarius?
I saw that one first. That's why it's my favorite.
What's Aquarius?
A constellation?
I still don't see it.
You don't even know what to look for? But I can help. I didn't know how to explain it for a while.
Thank you.
For what? I didn't do nothing.
Never mind.
Young Judd lays down near young Laurey, awkwardly because he still can't see her. Lights fade to a sunrise on young Judd and young Laurey as she continues.
I reckon I forgot to say it. It's called Aquarius because Aquarius means water carrier. So the stars made up a picture of a person carrying water.
No light on Judd and Mrs. Fry.
We kept talking until the sun started to come back up. That's when I saw she was brown. That was the color.
Gee, sun's already up?
I have to go. My daddy's gonna be all kinds of mad.
Okay, we should play together again.
I'd like to.
Young Judd starts to leave.
You said 9 years, 11 months, and 29 days, right?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday then, today, Judd Fry.
Happy birthday, Judd Fry. What?
You just talk funny.
Oh,
Ain't bad and nothing. Ain't wrong. Just funny.
I'll see you later, Laurey Williams.
Young Judd runs off as lights come back up on Judd and Mrs. Fry. Lights down on young Judd and young Laurey setting.
Would you run straight to the fields? Tell your daddy you just got up a little earlier?
Yes, that is what I did.
Anybody wish you a happy birthday after that?
Judd shakes his head no. That's gotta break Mrs. Fry's heart.
She know about your daddy?
No,
What do you think would happen, Judd?
I'll protect Laurey.
Your daddy and all those men.
Yes,
How are you planning on doing that?
I'm working on a gun.
My God, Judd.
You ain't mad?
At you?
At me.
I'm mad at me, damn it.
Mama, don't cry.
Was right. My God, that doctor was all kinds of right.
How come you sent Laurey away?
You know what your daddy would do if he saw that girl on our property? In the house?
No,
You don't get it, Judd. And it's my fault you don't. You can't be friends with that Laurey no more. It's too dangerous.
Daddy can't beat me much more than he already does.
Too dangerous for her, Judd.
Oh,
And for you, for that matter. I can't believe I waited so long to get you out of here.
I'm not going nowhere, Mama. I don't want to.
You have to.
No!
Judd, you don't understand. The rest of your life is over if we don't get you somewhere out of harm's way and into good hands.
I can't leave here! I can't leave here!
You want to die here, alone.
I ain't alone. I got Laurey.
That won't last, Judd. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I know you can't see it. But your daddy's stronger than you in this.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is.
I ain't got no one else but Laurey, Mama. Nobody's stopping me from having her.
He shouted.
You really think that, don't you?
Mr. Fry enters.
What the hell's with all the noise? I can hear y'all yelling halfway up the road.
Fight or flight, Judd. Pick flight. Judd exits. Mrs. Fry stands if she wasn't already.
You went into town?
Yeah, had to pick up some old rope.
For what?
What do you mean, for what?
Judd, I think you ought to stop with all that.
Excuse me?
Never mind.
No. I want to hear what you have to say. What should I stop with?
I don't want to talk about it right now. I changed my mind.
What'd you change your mind about, Beth?
He slowly approaches her.
See, now, something tells me you ain't being fully honest at the moment. Something moved you to speak today, and keep on now.
I think you ought to stop meeting up with those men. Harming people.
That's so.
Yes,
Who gave you this idea?
it's against the law, Judd.
It was that doctor, wasn't it?
He didn't say a word to me.
Bullshit!
He does something like throw the rope on the ground or slam his hands on the table, something loud and territorial.
I'm sorry.
I reckon you're lying through your teeth on account of he told me the same damn thing the other day.
You spoke to him?
Briefly.
He mentioned when he was coming back?
What do you care?
I'm asking.
He ain't never coming back, Beth. And he sure as hell didn't convince me to stop nothing before he left.
She's facing him.
It ain't justice, Judd. It's murder.
Oh, you sound just like him.
Then I sound right.
How
She's
many,
still standing.
how many times I need to knock sense into you before it sticks? You both ain't know a damn thing of what you're talking about.
I know about my son. And I know about the law.
The law don't have a clause about setting things back into order because it is implied. And the boy ain't got nothing to do with what I do.
How come you ain't never called him by his name?
How often you name a mistake, Beth?
Mr. Fry starts to exit.
What happened to you?
What?
You and Ellis and Judd. You used to be a little gang. You used to talk. Don't you miss that?
Quit talking, Beth.
But I ain't done. I don't know when it was, but at some point, you just stopped trying. You just stopped. You stopped being a father.
Mr. Fry still hasn't turned around.
Do you remember teaching the boys how to make a slingshot? Taking them out to the woods, finding the perfect forked stick, tying a cloth on just right so it could shoot a rock. They loved every minute of it. Hell, don't you remember Judd finally smiling and interacting with us? That was the first time we heard his little voice. That was you. But you left him, Judd. You left him. And now he's gonna stop trying to make you come back.
He didn't have a drop of remorse, Beth. Not a drop.
Now he turns around.
God may have been the one who took Ellis away. But the boy, just let him do it. Acted like he didn't know what he did wrong.
I don't think he did.
No, he had to. How could anyone not know that was wrong? How could anyone not feel remorse after their brother dies at their feet?
I don't know. That's why we need someone else's help.
Mr. Fry turns away again. From now on, he can turn at will.
He knows about all of it, Judd. The Klan, and he don't like it.
So what? Doesn't matter if he likes it or not.
I don't think he's gonna stand it. That's what I mean.
Well, maybe he'll do something about it then, one day.
He'll sure as hell try.
Now you're making me think that doctor's here in the room.
I wish he was.
What? You saying he should head to one of them schools?
Yes.
Because when he first came, you was hell-bent on the boy staying put.
I changed my mind. Folks can do that, in case you didn't know. Apparently, you did too.
I called because the boy is doing more harm than good and he ain't earning his place in the world. I got rid of Jameson because he started putting ideas into the boy's head. Yours too, sounds like. He started calling the boy a genius, saying he belonged in a school. Well, you know where those schools are, Beth? They're in the godforsaken North.
Oh, what, Judd? You didn't know that before?
You got a lot of nerve talking to me like that.
Where do you care where he goes? So long as it's better for him.
I ain't sending anyone of mine to a place where Yankees can fill his mind with God knows what.
You're picking and choosing when he's yours to care about and when he ain't.
I'd rather have an idiot for a son than a godless copperhead.
Well, I wouldn't. Do it, Judd. I dare you. I can't feel much of nothing all of a sudden. So you know what? I'm asking you to strike me. Strike me good.
What the hell?
You know what story my son just told me before you came in here? He told me when he was a boy, and you said a colored family moved in too close to us, and you smacked him for asking questions. Well, you know what he did? He went out that night and looked for him, and he found a Miss Laurey Williams. Only other person he ever really met, so his only friend.
Stupid kid.
Innocent kid. She was the only person who ever talked to him, played with him, took him as he was. Well, nothing. We ain't the people he belongs with, Judd. We ain't the best hands.
The best hands? That doctor just wanted to make a dime off us, send another person out of the South. They ain't no school for idiots anyhow. I'll find somebody else to take him away.
I want to send my son wherever's best for him, where he doesn't have to hide his only friend all his life.
Doesn't have to what?
Mrs. Fry realizes she made a mistake.
There's something I don't know.
No.
You best not be lying, Beth, because I'll find out. If I find out the boy kept up with that black girl, real crying shame about him never being loved. Real sorry, but I don't see him trying to love us a bit. And I am more sorry he wasn't the one that died. He ain't going nowhere yet.
Mr. Fry exits. Blackout. Rain begins. Same night. Sound of door rattling. Lights up as Judd enters the tool shed, Laurey behind him. The map is visible on a wall. Judd gets to work on the gun.
Come on, hurry, hurry.
I shouldn't be here, Judd. Your mama said not to.
She said out of sight of this property.
Is that what she meant?
That's what she said, so it's what she meant.
I have thought that before, and I have always been wrong. You sure we're safe here?
Yes.
What is this place, Judd?
Can you look around for something that could be a trigger piece?
Okay, there's a lot of sharp stuff here.
Daddy says it's the most dangerous place to be, especially when you don't know how nothing works.
Lucky you do.
I do, Laurey.
It must be mighty scary when there's an axe.
Laurey catches sight of Mr. Fry's pistol on the ground, hidden by a mess of loose materials. She's shocked by it.
It must be mighty scary when there's a... What?
Judd?
What?
Judd, look at this.
I can't. I'm working. What is it?
Stop then.
Judd stops. He turns toward Laurey as she walks slowly toward him, holding the pistol.
Whoa.
Judd, this is a real gun.
Real gun.
I ain't never seen one before.
Never touched one either.
Yeah,
Suppose I don't gotta make one no more.
suppose not.
Laurey's been holding the pistol, and she still is when the door rattles. Mr. Fry enters, holding his rope.
Boy, I told you the shed was off.
Mr. Fry turns and sees Laurey holding his gun. Judd's frozen, Laurey's frozen.
Well, I'll be.
Laurey, run.
No, girl, don't you move a damn muscle.
Mr. Fry approaches her slowly.
You think you can come on over here and take what ain't belong to you? Don't you?
No, sir.
No, sir, my ass. Get your black hands off my gun!
Mr. Fry grabs at Laurey's wrist forcefully. It hurts. Mr. Fry reaches for the gun, still holding Laurey's wrist. Judd bursts out of his frozen state and leaps onto his dad's back. They struggle.
Run!
Laurey is shocked, confused.
I said run!
Laurey runs out.
Damn it, boy, get off of me!
Mr. Fry gets Judd off of him. It's messy. Judd's on the ground.
What the hell you doing letting a colored girl on my land into my shed lay her dirty hands on my gun? Will?
Judd's reeling, not connected.
Stand up, damn it! Look at me when I'm talking at you!
Judd stands. Mr. Fry forces Judd to face him.
Now, you tell me something, boy. This better be the first time that good-for-nothing's been on this land. Is it?
No.
Round this shed?
No.
Seen that gun?
Yes.
Liar! Ugh! What? She your little girlfriend or something? Ah, son. Playing hooky with a black bitch. Then letting her run when he knows his daddy had other plans.
Judd stands.
Laurey found the pistol on the ground.
That right? She just found it there? Stroke of luck, she saw it on the ground?
Yes. You must have been too dumb to hide it yourself.
What did you just say to me?
I said, you must have been too dumb to hide it yourself.
Judd's on the floor, out. Mr. Fry hasn't hit his son like that since he found Ellis. It should bring him right back to then. After a beat, Mr. Fry starts looking for some kind of bandage or rag to make a tourniquet.
Why you always gotta make me? Judd Fry. I'm doing what I know is right, damn it. Give your father some credit. He's been around longer. I sure as hell hope you can hear me now, if you couldn't before. You just made a big mistake.
Judd's still out. Mr. Fry makes his way over to the map and finds a writing utensil. He checks the ammunition left in the gun, grabs more, then crosses out Williams. Mr. Fry exits. Thunderclap as the lights go nearly fully out. Sound of the rain intensifies. Judd stirs back to consciousness. He looks around to collect himself. He stands, approaches the map. Seeing the name crossed out, Judd immediately runs out of the shed. Full blackout. The lights come up slightly, revealing the tool shed in a muted darkness. The storm sound lightens enough for other actions to take focus. Dr. Jameson appears somewhere on stage, I imagine above the action, reading aloud a letter. There is a brighter light on him. Meanwhile, Judd re-enters the shed and sits by the work table in front of all the random pieces and tools. Judd works silently and quickly. Neither Judd nor Dr. Jameson are aware of each other.
Dear Vernon, I hope this letter finds you in good health. It's been too long since we've been in correspondence, but I hope to change that. In case you've forgotten, I've moved my practice to Birmingham, Alabama. I think often about how I regret not joining you after graduation. I imagine you're keeping very busy in Connecticut. I'm frankly jealous. Anyway, I've come upon a special case that may require your expertise. Okay, I suppose special is a broad term, but I'm not sure there's another way to describe these folks. Professor Rodgers called them savants, but, well, idiot savants, because they don't seem too smart until you give them a chance. Well, I think I found one, Vern. I found this incredible kid. He's jaded, he's unspoken, he's disconnected. I'd say he's bored. His father wanted me to evaluate him for feeble-mindedness and take him to some institution straight away, but just before I left their home, I found him counting blades of grass. He was up to something like 793. Exactly. He knew. And he memorizes like he sees photographs in his mind. There's a tool shed on his property, and he told me everything inside of it from memory. Alphabetically, numerically. He didn't even stutter. I know he's got a lot more in him. I just don't know what. But he's treated like dirt because he comes across like a damn mute. I mean, you ask him to sit still and he doesn't move a muscle until you tell him otherwise. He's painfully literal and inquisitive. I think he's stupid. But my instinct is he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm proposing he go to your school and function as a sort of patient zero. I'm telling you, Vern, any place would be better than Panola, Mississippi. He's got one friend, but, well, that might take too long to explain. It's a girl, and frankly, she reminds me a lot of him. If I had more time with her, I have a feeling I'd find all kinds of similarities. I'm going back to his home tonight to learn what I can, and the point is, this boy needs you. And I'm inclined to think you may need him. Trust me.
At this point, Judd holds in the air a completed slingshot, reverse engineered via other tools and devices in the shed. It's perfect. Both Dr. Jameson and Judd remain frozen. Lights slowly fade to full black while the storm intensifies. Thunderclap. The Williams home is set up exactly like the Fry's in that there are 2 levels. In both homes, the kitchen and dining area are the down center rooms. However, where Judd's room was on the 2nd level towards stage left, Laurey's room is on the opposite side. Laurey's room is not lit on stage. It has a door entrance, a window, a bed, and a nightstand. It should look pretty similar to Judd's. The window is closed. Inside the Williams home, it's early in the morning. Specifically, we're inside the kitchen, where Mrs. Athena Williams is fixing something for breakfast or cleaning. The kitchen and the home itself aren't very much. There is, though, a sense of warmth there, a sense of family. There's a crucifix over the kitchen doorway. After a moment, Laurey starts creeping in from outside, trying desperately to be silent and avoiding being heard by her mother. Laurey is 9 years old.
Laurey Williams, you really think I don't hear you walking right into this kitchen?
Laurey starts running, but her mother's voice stops her almost immediately.
Ma'am, you want to tell me where you were?
I was outside.
Oh, outside. Is that what's beyond that door?
Yes, Mama.
You know what I'm asking, child. Where were you?
Just outside.
Doing what?
Helping Daddy.
Helping Daddy?
Yeah.
Helping your daddy sleep? Because he's snoring away upstairs.
He asked me to get up real early and start working.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm. Wake up before everybody and gets to working, he said.
Huh. Well, I got a couple more questions if you don't mind.
Laurey doesn't say anything.
What time you get up to start working?
Before sunrise.
What'd you do?
I got dressed real quiet and went outside.
Got dressed into the same clothes you was wearing last night?
Yes.
Did Daddy tell you to take the clothes off the line too?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Not too hard.
Well, I bet it wasn't, because I did it yesterday.
Mr. Williams enters.
Y'all are lively this morning. Any coffee, Mrs. Williams? John, your daughter here says you told her to wake up early this morning and get to working.
So, no coffee?
John.
Uh-huh.
She says she woke up before the sun did, put on her same clothes from last evening, and took the clothes off the line just like you asked.
That sounds right to me.
What?
That sounds right to you.
Sure does.
John, I took the clothes off the line yesterday afternoon.
I put some more up after.
Who washed them first?
Must have been me, I reckon.
What are you talking about?
Laurey, you recall me saying I had a few extra pairs of pants and shirts needed a laundering? And that I'd throw them on the line overnight to be worn today at church?
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
Laurey, you must be mighty tired. Why don't you head back to sleep, baby? Thank you for being my little helper this morning.
Laurey exits.
Before you get too upset at me, you're right, she was lying.
Well, I knew she was lying the whole time. She couldn't keep any details straight. It's important she learns how to confess and ask forgiveness.
You're right, I know it, believe me.
Now, y'all must have been working in tandem, and I'd like to know what she's lying about.
Well, I did have clothes that needed laundering.
Don!
I did!
What I don't understand is why you came in here and lied to me. Let her right off the hook.
Baby, she made a friend.
Was it you? You two were a fine team just now. Her lying and you double lying.
Athena, listen to me. She made a friend last night. Stayed up the whole evening talking.
She what?
I heard him through the window. You was sleeping like a rock, but I heard her talking to a little fella.
A little fella?
Telling him all about them constellations you've been teaching her. That girl looked up at the sky and saw Aquarius all by herself. Even remembered what it meant.
Who's the little boy?
I didn't hear his name. By the time I heard him, they was in deep conversation. Reckon he introduced himself while I was asleep. That or I wasn't paying attention.
Better be the first one.
Baby, don't you see what this means? We ain't gonna fear nothing no more. Not about Laurey, at least.
Laurey creeps back into sight, eavesdropping.
She wasn't shy or nothing?
A natural.
That's a little hard to believe.
She was talking like she'd never get the chance to again.
And you ain't got any idea who could have been the boy?
No. I thought I heard him call him Bud or Buddy a few times, but that was all. No name.
Mrs. Williams turns ghost white.
What?
John, don't you tell me you heard the name Judd, as in Judd Fry?
No. I already thought of that. No chance.
How can you tell me no chance?
You think Judd Fry would let his boy wander around at night near our home?
Not on purpose, no.
I imagine that man's got his house protected with some ironclad authority. Ain't nobody doing anything he don't demand of first.
Reckon that's right. Still a mighty scary thought, John.
I know. But let me tell you, I ain't worried. That help at all? I'll tell you when we should be worried.
You ain't even a little concerned of that possibility?
Of which one?
That our daughter was talking with the underground clan's leader's son?
Underground.
John.
Of course, Athena. But I truly don't believe that's what happened. And I'll tell you another thing. I doubt that Judd Fry will lay a hand on our family as long as I'm still preaching.
Why not?
God-fearing man like him wouldn't kill another. Not unless some real hatred tainted his heart.
You don't think it already has?
No. If it does, we'll know.
Then why would she lie? If she ain't hiding something?
Would you be itching to tell your parents about a crush?
That's
what I thought. Me neither.
You're mighty optimistic.
I have faith, Athena. Ain't you? Laurey don't even know about the clan yet. She don't understand that kind of stuff.
Reckon I don't either.
If Judd Fry Sr. himself did, I bet you he'd leave it mighty quick.
Laurey exits silently, confused.
Why was Laurey outside so late anyway? I told her to go to bed.
Was she asking to look at the sky with you?
She always does. I said another time. I was about ready to keel over. I was so tired.
I reckon she stole away to look herself then.
You think? I wonder why she likes him so much.
The stars is pretty.
She gets so excited every time I tell her a constellation. She sees them before I even tell her. It's amazing.
How could she do that?
Tell you if I knew. She looked up the other night and said, "That looks like a big scooping spoon, Mama." I said, "Well, it sure is. The Big Dipper's his name."
That's unbelievable, Athena.
She's got a knack for patterns, I suppose.
A knack's one thing, but you're telling me she saw a picture on the stars before she even knew?
Before she knew there was pictures to look for.
That's something else.
She wasn't seeing the same pictures always, but saw some of her own real quick.
Still.
You telling me?
Well, I'm learning about our daughter left and right, ain't I?
So am I. Not sure if it's such a good thing.
It's gotta be. Little Laurey might be capable of a whole lot more than we thought, right?
Right. Right.
Now, Mrs. Williams, we got a service awfully soon. I gotta get dressed mighty quick.
Jordan awake yet?
Better be. I ain't got time to wait for him. Jordan, you better be dressed for church or just about.
You ain't got to call and wake Laurey.
That girl just made her first best friend. She ain't asleep. She heard me.
He starts to exit, but stops.
You ain't getting dressed too?
Yes, I'm right behind you. I was hoping I could get something prepared so we can eat right after church, but y'all got me behind with your lying.
I hate to say it. I ain't too sorry.
Mrs. Williams exits upstairs as Jordan and Laurey come down.
Jordan, wait outside. Laurey, hang back a minute now.
Jordan exits.
Quite a fast one we pulled on your mama, wasn't it? Now listen, Laurey. I know you might be a bit embarrassed to talk about little fellas, but you gotta know you can trust your mama and me. We love you. I heard you last night talking outside. I know there was a boy with you. It's okay, I promise.
The boy was Judd Fry, and you was right. I don't know what the clan is. What is it?
Blackout. We see a night sky and hear sounds of crickets, wind rustling, bugs, etc. Judd enters quietly, but not terribly cautious. He can't see Laurey yet. She's on the opposite side of the stage. She's been waiting for him. It's their spot. They're still 9 to 10-year-olds.
Laurey? Shh. What?
Be quiet.
Why?
We got it, and I said so.
Where are you?
Over here.
I don't know what over here is.
It's not there. It ain't where you just was.
That helps.
Follow my voice.
Judd inches his way closer to where Laurey is. He gets really close.
You ain't saying anything.
You're close.
Ah! Shh. Sorry, you scared me.
Sorry.
Why we gotta whisper?
My daddy heard us talking last night, and he said we probably shouldn't talk no more. What's the clan?
What? Shh. Why aren't we allowed to talk no more?
He said it's dangerous, and that's all I need to know.
I'm dangerous?
I guess so.
But I didn't know I was dangerous.
You ain't to me, but my daddy knows more than I do. What's the clan?
I don't know.
Me either. Do you have a brother named Judd Fry too?
No. But my daddy's name is Judd Fry. I'm the third Judd so far.
Well, that's playing it.
Is your family gonna be mad I'm here?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
but that's why we're whispering. They won't hear us talking this way. We ain't being dangerous. What did your daddy say about us talking?
You don't know.
You lied to him?
No, he didn't ask me nothing.
That's sneaky, Judd Fry.
But it ain't dangerous, is it?
I don't know.
I don't ever want to be dangerous. I don't want to hurt nobody.
I don't think you could. I saw you step around a book when you was leaving yesterday, so you wouldn't hurt it.
I did do that. Thanks.
Want to sit with me?
You've been sitting this whole time?
Duh.
Judd feels around the rock or the ground, wherever the area is that Laurey's occupying. He sits.
You still there?
Of course.
Why don't your folks want me around?
My mama don't. My daddy don't either, but he said he won't tell her. They're afraid of something's called the clan, but I don't know what that means. I asked, and they didn't tell me. It sounds real bad, though. Nothing scares my daddy or my mom, and they both seem mighty scared at the idea of it.
I don't know what it is either. I hope I don't see one.
I think you would know, would you?
Maybe. But you don't sound too scared, so I'm not neither.
I ain't scared, 'cause I don't know what I'd be scared of. I don't plan harming you. I don't think you can harm nobody.
Not unless they harmed you first.
I like that idea. Well, then that's that. We friends, and that's our business.
Friends.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me.
You want to learn constellation? Judd?
Oh, sorry. I nodded. Yes.
Young Laurey trails off seamlessly into Laurey at the age of the top of the play. Judd now is also grown. The light starts slowly changing to the wee hours of the morning. It is now the day before the first scene of the play, so technically a Wednesday morning.
I don't think I've ever seen a buffalo.
Never?
Have you?
No.
Well, there you have it.
Jeez. Sky's already getting lighter.
When are we going to go to your house?
My house ain't so fun. My daddy ain't nice and my mama would probably bore you.
Well, still, I ain't never get to see where you run off to all these mornings.
Do you gotta?
I guess not. I just like to. I mean, Judd, I like being your friend. If your house ain't no fun, we can come back here like before. Not much on the line here.
You're right, I suppose.
There ain't really a hurry either, I guess. You know, Judd, my folks get scared about me. They're afraid I got something wrong with me because of the way I act.
How's that?
Well, my mama says I don't have any common sense. She thinks I'm real smart a lot of ways, but real dumb a lot of ways too.
You ain't dumb. You're the smartest person I ever met.
I mean, dumb like in ways around my family and around other people. I don't get what people mean when they say something that's obvious ain't true. Then everybody laughs. I'm just standing there thinking, but how could you mean that? My folks just stares at me like you can't even see that was funny. And I guess I can understand how to do myself. I mean, I think I could do it like this. Judd, yeah, you got big feet.
I do?
No, you don't. I was lying on purpose because your feet ain't big.
Why would you lie about that?
Because it's funny.
Why?
I don't know. But if I said that at home, they would kneel over.
Really?
I mean, they should.
Your folks got a weird sense of humor.
See, you and I are similar in that regard, but that's what I mean. I don't see what they call me slow uptake, but I don't know what it is that everyone else is taking up.
That's mighty confusing.
You're telling me, but Judd, I don't feel slow the uptake with you. You and I are on the same page every time.
Every time. My folks don't really laugh much at all, but my daddy calls me an idiot, I reckon, every day.
Do you do stupid stuff?
Not on purpose.
Does he tell you why he calls you idiot?
No,
That's mighty confusing.
you're telling me. I should probably go. He'll be looking soon for me.
Okay.
Okay.
You coming back tonight?
I plan to. That
Of
okay?
course. Of course. But what if this time and we walk back to your house?
But you ain't never snuck out like that before.
So you do it all the time.
I got it down to a science, Laurey. You'd be winging it.
Well, what's the science?
I don't know. This is mighty dangerous.
Come on.
Laurey, let me just come back tonight and we'll talk about it some more. I'm getting anxious about my daddy noticing me late.
Well, okay. I'll see you tonight then.
Yeah.
Judd runs off. Laurey looks away while he runs off. Then she turns to watch him. After a beat, she lays back down. Mrs. Williams enters.
I saw you go up to your room last night for bed. Is this evidence you snuck out again just to stargaze?
Fell asleep again too, Mama.
You lucky coyotes don't come around and eat you alive sleeping outside.
I know.
Your father and I swear we hear voices every night.
Lots of crazy folks hear voices.
You think you're real funny, don't you?
No.
Who is it you keep talking to? We hear him every night, Laurey.
Nobody.
You're mighty lucky we're not choosing to spy on you every night. We could, you know.
I know.
But we don't. We trust you. We trust you ain't up to nothing wrong.
I'm not.
So whose voice we keep hearing?
It's, you don't know him.
Try me.
It's a boy.
Okay.
Mama,
Laurey,
his name is Leo.
Margaret's son Leo Jackson? The boy who sings at church for your daddy?
Yes, Mama.
Well, I'll be damned. He sure is cute.
Stop it, Mama.
I ain't doing anything.
You're being weird.
Oh, I remember when I thought it was weird too. Okay, fine, I'm done.
You ain't gonna tell Daddy, are you?
No. Just us.
Promise?
Promise.
Laurey's expecting her mom to leave.
Well, what y'all talk about?
Mama,
What?
why are you so curious?
Because you're my only girl. And what, Lord, I'm just so proud of you.
Mama, what's the big deal?
Never mind. Listen, you got a man expert in your mama. Here, you got that?
A man expert?
Indeed.
How'd you get to be man expert?
Well, it doesn't take a person too long. I'll tell you that.
Why would a boy be anxious to get back to his daddy?
I reckon he's a little scared or something. Fathers intimidate their sons. Think of your brother. You remember when he lied about breaking daddy's wheelbarrow?
No.
Jordan was messing around one afternoon. I got no clue what he was up to, but he was using the wheelbarrow. He hit a bump, I guess, or something. I don't remember. It don't matter. He broke the wheelbarrow. The next morning, your daddy went to start working, and he found the thing in pieces. He was all kinds of angry, thinking we had a burglar or a vandal late at night, or maybe someone in the... Well, anyway, your brother was upstairs avoiding your daddy all morning.
And he was anxious?
You best believe it. He didn't want to face him. He was afraid of being punished for breaking it, and then punished more for lying about it. But the truth was that if he just came to daddy right away, explained himself, apologized, would have gone a lot smoother.
Huh?
So I bet you Leo is hiding something from his daddy.
Leo?
Leo Jackson.
Leo. Right.
It ain't necessarily a big lie, but there's something keeping them from being straight with each other.
Huh? I wonder what it is.
Me too. I wouldn't be worried though. God-fearing boy like himself, I doubt he's up to no good.
Yeah.
I reckon you didn't sleep much, did you, baby?
No.
Why don't we go inside? You go back to sleep.
They exit while the light shifts to later in the afternoon. Same day. At the Williams dinner table, Mr. Williams, Jordan, and Laurey are all present.
You kids better be ready to give your mama extra thanks tonight. She's been cooking something special all day.
What is it?
I don't know. She said it'd be a surprise.
Is it grits?
Grits is for breakfast, dummy.
Of course I know that. Well, maybe it's breakfast food for dinner.
Maybe, Judd. I'm not sure. That'd be nice.
That'd only be good. If we didn't eat breakfast, I want grits twice.
For me?
I still eat it, though, if Mama made it.
Not if I ate yours first.
I smack you if you ate mine.
Smack you back.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. It's probably not breakfast food for dinner. We'd smell the eggs, wouldn't we?
You've got a point there.
Laurey, got any guesses?
No.
Take a big whiff of the air. You get any clues?
You saying you already know it?
Would you be quiet? I'm asking your sister.
Laurey takes a big, awkward whiff of the air.
Anything?
Mm-mm.
Think.
Mm-mm.
Maybe she should ask her boyfriend, Leo Jackson.
Hey, you shut your mouth.
Whoa, what's all that? Laurey, calm down. What are you talking about, Jordan?
Oh, he's got a boyfriend, didn't she tell you? Leo Jackson, right from the choir.
Leo Jackson. That right, Laurey?
Laurey's quiet, so painfully embarrassed.
They stay up all night talking about being in love and their feelings.
Do not.
She told Mama this morning.
You told Mama you've been seeing Leo Jackson this morning?
Laurey's quiet. Mrs. Williams comes in with dinner on a large tray. There's roasted chicken and a serving plate of yams.
Dinner is served. Laurey, I made your favorite, yams.
Laurey doesn't say anything or look up.
You don't want none. Yams is my favorite too.
Laurey, what's the matter?
It's nothing, honey. Jordan's just antagonizing his sister.
Do I look surprised? Because I'm surprised.
Just teasing her about her new boyfriend.
Stop that.
Oh, ain't you got any feelings? Leave her alone. We could all be making comments about your girlfriend, couldn't we?
Nope, I ain't got any girlfriends.
Exactly.
Wait a second.
And for the record, that Leo Jackson's a nice, handsome boy. Done good, Laurey. That's my girl.
Well, this looks delicious, honey. Thank you very much.
I sure hope it is. I haven't prepared a chicken in a long while.
Quiet, a little awkward.
Well, Laurey, how about we just bite the bullet and talk about Leo? Get it all out. Could be fun, right?
Laurey gets up and leaves the table abruptly.
Oh, honey, Laurey.
Laurey exits.
Jordan, you listen. You made her so embarrassed that apologies would only make it worse. I didn't help neither, and I'm owning up to it. How would you feel if somebody took a detail about you and shared it without your saying okay? Pretty bad, huh? And about a boy, too?
Sorry, Mama.
I know you're sorry, but Laurey, don't. Just don't give her such a hard time. Laurey's a little different this way.
She not gonna eat dinner?
You know what? That's a fine idea. How about we fix her a plate and you take it up to her?
They make Laurey's plate. Jordan takes it upstairs. He exits.
Jordan's supposed to be older, ain't he?
Well, older don't always mean wiser. But you're right, though. You're right.
Teasing her about a boy, what's the point of that? Just to see someone embarrassed? That's a bully right there.
Mm-hmm.
You ever do that when you were young? Tease people?
I'm sure I did, but I don't remember fully.
Well, I think it's shameful. Finally get to a boy, a good boy too. And Mark's son, Leo.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you they was in church today even. Were they?
I believe so, yes, singing.
Singing? There you go. Good people. People we can trust. And her brother's making her feel sorry for it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree.
You just agreeing?
Yes.
You ain't got nothing to add?
You saying it all, ain't you?
There's something I don't know about Leo Jackson?
Not that I know of.
The Jackson family?
I don't think so.
Then what's keeping you at such a loss for words? I ain't got to do much more than breathe to get your 2 cents most of the time.
There was a white fella stopped by the church today after service. A doctor named Clarence. Said he was from Alabama.
White fella? What he want?
This Dr. Clarence said he specializes in children who have trouble being social.
What's he got to do with the Jackson?
I bet he could help Laurey get into some sort of social...
John, why ain't you listening to...
because Leo Jackson isn't real.
What do you mean he isn't real? Of course he's real. I met his damn mother. You have to...
I mean... He and Laurey's relationship, or whatever she wants to call it. It ain't true.
She told me this morning.
She's lying to you.
She's lying to me. You a real piece of work, John. You think she just make up Leo Jackson out the blue?
She knows that's what you want to hear, Athena.
I don't want to hear nothing. What are you talking about?
Don't you see how happy it made you to think she was engaging with a handsome Christian boy? She knew it'd make you glad. And let's not pretend you ain't happy to hear he's black, too.
How do you know it ain't true? If you're such an expert on her mind. Well, what is it you know that I don't? Huh?
It ain't Leo Jackson she's been talking to each night.
Each night?
I've been hearing him every night since she was 9 or 10.
Who is it, John? This better be a mighty important...
It's Judge Fry's boy.
You got a twisted sense of humor, John. Sometimes I don't see how you think some things are funny.
I'm not telling any joke. They've been getting together most every night since you first caught her sneaking out.
That's impossible.
No, it's not.
It can't be Judd Fry. It can't. Because you told me that man would never let his son talk to someone like Laurey. And I knew that was true.
It is true. But that just means little Judd's been sneaking out himself.
Mr. Williams goes to comfort Mrs. Williams.
I understand that don't make much sense. And it may be a lot to imagine, but I'm here, Athena. I don't believe we're in any danger, okay? I hope you believe me. I mean, I hope you trust me.
Trust you. You knew.
What?
You knew it was Judd Fry the whole time? What, you lied to my face? How long? Nearly 10 years?
You don't understand.
I think I fully understand. The leader of the goddamn Ku Klux Klan has inside eyes on the black family down the street that ain't yet got the message that they ain't welcome.
I don't think that's what's happening.
That's what's happening here. Open your eyes, John. How could that not be what's happening here? What do you think that boy's been taught since he could hear? Hatred. And the poor son of a bitch don't even know that's what it is.
You haven't heard them talk to each other at night.
And I can't believe you have. Every night since she was 9? And you didn't say a word to me. The fact that we ain't all dead already is an honest miracle, John. You've killed us.
I promise you I didn't.
You can't promise me nothing.
Athena, that boy runs over here every night after dark to talk to his laugh line. Our daughter. They talk about everything under the sun with an innocence that I struggled to remember ever having myself. Their thoughts, their feelings, the damn constellations, everything, Athena. They're friends. Friends! She's got none other than him, and he's got none other than her. Most every morning just before dawn, Judd tells Laurey he'll get beaten senseless if he's late to working in the field with his daddy. He goes home early enough to pretend he's just waking up, And Mr. Fry doesn't have the slightest idea that his son is messing with a colored girl. And based on how well Laurey knows us, don't you think it makes sense why she'd feel compelled to lie about him? Why her lie would be that she was seeing a boy like Leo?
Not much of nothing makes sense right now. Can't trust a damn word out your mouth. You have put our family lives on the line for 10 years.
Our lives have been on the line for far longer than that, and you know it. Don't pretend like my line about Judd increased present danger beyond what it already was.
What if she went over there, John? What if she followed to his home one night?
Listen, I wouldn't have allowed it.
You listen all night, every night?
Most every night.
If she got caught at Judd Fry's home?
I know what would happen.
No. Obviously you don't. Our daughter would be hanging from a tree, no different than a ripe fucking apple.
Athena!
I'm angry, John. Don't you tell me how to be angry. Every night I ask, you hear something? You must have just lied through your teeth. Nope, just the wind, I reckon. Making me think I'm hearing things. You pretend like you can have all the trust in the world for that boy, like you can have faith in him the same way you can have in our daughter.
They're more similar than you realize.
Well, they're far more different than you seem to realize, too.
You have the same hatred for them that you think they have for you.
What are you saying?
You have the same hatred for them that you think they have for you.
Think? That I think they have for me?
No, that's not what I mean.
People like Judd Fry shout that hate out for the whole town to praise, like he's some kind of damn hero for killing off all the colored folk.
I'm just as certain of that as you are. All I'm saying is that if we forbade Laurey from talking to someone like Judd Fry, then we're doing nothing but teaching her to do the same thing Judd is.
So we just sit back, turn a blind eye, hope nothing happens? You kidding me, John?
For now, that's what...
I'm not letting our daughter be a martyr. Her life's in danger. All our lives are.
Our lives are in danger the minute Mr. Fry finds out they know each other. But he ain't gonna find out anything so long as Judd gets to talk to Laurey.
How can you say that?
He loves Laurey, I'm sure of it. And I wouldn't be shocked to learn that he knows he ain't supposed to love her. Know her, even.
So you think since he loves her so much, he gonna protect her?
Exactly, Athena. And I think...
And what?
In a way, I think Laurey loves him too.
Jordan re-enters.
Laurey ain't hungry. Knocked a whole bunch, but she didn't say nothing for a while.
She told you she didn't want any dinner?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so?
Oh, I knocked and knocked. I called, no answer. I called and I told her that she could even have my yams and everything. Nothing.
Why didn't you go in her room?
Well, I tried, but the door's locked.
What the?
I don't think she's looking to talk to no one anyway, especially not me.
That don't make any sense. She tell you to stop knocking before she ignore you completely.
Jordan does something equivalent to shrugging.
Laurey?
Mr. and Mrs. Williams stand and begin to head for Laurey's room. They arrive at her door, finding it locked. They are not seen on stage because they are not in the room. All that is lit on stage is the locked door to Laurey's room.
Laurey, baby, please open the door.
Laurey, come on. This ain't such a big deal, I promise. We promise.
You know, maybe we should just let her be tonight.
Let her be. She's got to eat, John.
I know. Look, I'll wait up. I know she's gonna get too hungry to be like this for long.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure by tomorrow she'll be okay.
We hear Mr. and Mrs. Williams walk back downstairs. After a moment, the rest of Laurey's room is lit, revealing a wide open window. Blackout. In the blackout, we hear Dr. Jameson's voice.
Oh, aren't you a bit young to be walking around by your lonesome so long after dark?
Soft lights denoting nighttime come up, revealing Dr. Jameson and Laurey having just bumped into each other.
Yes.
I'd have to agree. Why don't I walk you home, little lady? Your parents must be.
My parents ain't worried, I reckon.
What makes you say that?
They don't know I'm gone yet. I don't know why that's funny to you. It's the truth.
Maybe that's just it. What's your name? You know what? It's probably best you don't tell me. I wouldn't want my child talking to strangers neither. But for the record, my name's Clarence.
Dr. Jameson extends a hand. Laurey doesn't take it.
If you don't want me walking you back home, you mind my asking where you're headed?
Laurey doesn't say anything.
Or were you just out for a nice walk?
I don't know exactly where I was going.
Well, that's gonna make your way mighty hard to find.
I'm looking for somebody.
Maybe I can help.
I'm trying to find my friend. He always comes and find me, I reckon. I never ask him how to get to his house, which is turning out to be a bigger problem than I thought.
He comes and finds you at night?
A little later than this hour, yes.
That's mighty dangerous walking around at this time of night. How often does he come and find you?
Most every night.
My goodness. That's quite a friend, ain't it?
Yes.
How old is he?
My age, 18. Well, what? It's August. That means he's been 18 for 3 months now.
That sounds familiar.
Your friend have a name?
He don't know you. I shouldn't say.
You're Laurey Williams, aren't you?
No.
No?
How'd you know that?
I was just with your friend.
You was?
Well, I was at the home of Judd Fry. Would that be your friend's name? Indeed. Laurey, I'm not sure Judd's going to be visiting you tonight. In fact, I'm afraid he might not be able to visit for a while.
What?
You know, his house also isn't such a safe place.
Is it on fire?
No. I mean for you. You specifically, Laurey. It's one thing for Judd to come visit you at your house, but I'd recommend you stay far away from his.
Why?
It's complicated, and I shouldn't be the one to explain it all to you.
Why not? Explain what?
I think it's a job for your mama or your daddy.
My daddy says his house is dangerous too, but no one will tell me why.
You gotta trust him.
You're making this all up.
I promise you, I'm not. You should go back home. Let Judd come and find you if he chooses.
But we are friends.
I know. I ain't got a better reason for you. Not one I can explain. It's just not safe.
I don't get how it ain't safe, but he's fine.
Laurey, let me walk you home, okay? There's some stuff you need to know about the Fries.
No.
You ain't gonna want to hear them, but if no one else is telling you...
This don't make any sense. I'm becoming very frustrated.
I know, it doesn't. I know. You gotta trust me.
But you're a stranger to me. This would be unsafe.
You have any idea what happens in that house?
My friend sleeps and eats supper and...
No, Laurey, that's not what I mean. I mean, do you know... Do you understand who goes to that house?
Judd does.
Yes, Judd goes to that house. I can't say that isn't true, but listen to me, Laurey. Stranger that I am, to go to that house is suicide.
I don't know what that means.
You'll die, Laurey. That's what it means.
But why?
He's dangerous.
Laurey freezes for a moment, then runs off back in the direction she came. Dr. Jameson calls after her.
Laurey!
The lights slowly fade from late at night to early morning and finally midday. The woods near the Fry home. It's pre-supper time. Judd is sharpening a stick with a rock. This is a few moments before Act 1, Scene 4 would have started, the day after Dr. Jameson first arrived. Laurey starts calling loudly, obliviously.
Judd, Fry!
Laurey?
Judd, Fry! You around here?
Judd looks around quickly, spots her, waves, and sits back down where he was. Laurey enters.
Laurey, what are you doing here?
I have been here before, Judd. What are you talking about?
You must have walked right past my house.
Judd motions for her to get low on his level.
What's with you? I am just coming over.
Laurey, I always come and get you. We walk together. You can't come over by yourself.
Why not? That don't make any sense.
Because no one can see you on the property. Me going to get you is how you know no one's around. You're real lucky. See, when the saddle by our front door's gone, that's another thing means no one's around. Means my daddy took his horse somewheres.
Why is it I can't be seen?
It's dangerous.
You're the second person to tell me that? It's dangerous, dangerous. But I don't understand it. We are friends. Why can't I go to my friend's house?
Who else told you that?
Well, that's what I came to talk to you about. It was this fellow named Clarence. I bumped into him when I was looking to come over last night. The trouble was, I ain't never come over at night, so I got all confused how to get here.
You met a fellow named Clarence?
Yeah, he said he knew you. He said he was over last night before I had gone.
He's a doctor.
What was he doing here?
He was testing me or asking about me. I don't know, really.
Testing you how?
My daddy thinks I'm an idiot, so he sent for the doctor to come make sure and take me away.
Take you?
Only that's not what really happened. That's not what really happened, I reckon.
What happened?
Mama came home after Dr. Jameson. Oh, his last name's Jameson.
Got it.
Mama came home after Dr. Jameson had already been there. She was real angry. I guess she had a bad day. Not only that, she didn't know Dr. Jameson had been called in for her in the first place. She started talking back to my dad, and he sent me outside before Dr. Jameson was done.
So he ain't gonna take you nowhere?
Not today, at least.
I don't like the thoughts of that.
Me neither. When I was outside, Dr. Jameson found me and started talking, asked me questions I didn't want to answer.
Was he mean?
No, but my daddy came out and yelled at him to go away pretty quick.
That's weird. Your daddy was the one who wanted him there.
Right, that is a little twisted up. My daddy don't think much into the future when he does things.
How can you?
I don't know, but it gives me an awful lot of anxiousness thinking ahead like that.
Thinking to the future?
Yeah, don't you feel that too?
I mean, maybe a bit. Thinking about what?
Well, I guess I don't know exactly. Think about being grown like my mama or my daddy, and I get nervous. Can't really imagine being anything other than what I am right now.
What's that?
18 years, 3 months, and 8 days old.
Right.
Which makes you 18.
That's right.
Right.
You remember.
Well, you told me, so of course I did.
You can imagine being grown.
Not really. I mean, I can try to do it, but I don't see anything. I mean, how could it be any different than right now?
It's gotta be.
I realize it's gotta be, but I don't know anything except working fields. I don't know anywhere except here, and I don't know anyone except you, of course. So how could any of that change?
Well, what do you like?
Corn?
That's not what I mean, but I like corn too.
Corn's good.
Corn is good.
Yeah.
What do you like to do is what I meant.
Well, I don't know.
Well, what are you doing right there?
Making this stick here real sharp.
Why?
I don't know.
Judd drops the rock and stick. He quickly gets a little restless and looks for something else to do with his hands.
You like building things, I reckon, like that gun. You like playing with me? What else?
I like. Well, Laurey, that's about all I ever do.
Well, then, building things is our best bet. You could do that instead of working fields.
That's a good idea. But I'm gonna have to work these fields till my daddy's dead. Ain't no one else can.
I reckon that's true. You really don't know anyone else except me? Don't your parents take you to church on Sunday?
No. My daddy said we don't need to go to church on account of we just have a Bible and I have to read it a bunch.
You like the Bible?
A lot of it don't make any sense.
That's what I think too. Only my daddy's a preacher, so I don't say nothing. It's true. God just said, let there be light. And then there was light. Who's asking to stop holding back the light? I asked my daddy. He didn't know.
I never noticed that one.
The only part that I like is the forgiveness part. That's the only part. No matter what, people can make good. If you can't make good, then there's no point in ever doing anything right.
I guess so.
It's true. The Bible has a path from temptations for everyone. It doesn't say what everyone does is good, just that a person who does bad things can also do good things too. That's a mighty important to me.
Me too.
But most of the other stuff seems I don't know. Silly. When the doctor's coming back?
I don't know.
Is he coming back?
I think he will, but he didn't say.
He says anything else to you?
Who?
What you mean, who? The doctor, silly.
I done told you what happened, Laurey. Daddy came outside and sent him on his way. Wasn't much to say after that.
Why ain't your daddy take to Dr. Jameson?
Not sure he minds Dr. Jameson. I think he was just mad at Mama. See what I mean?
I guess so.
Lights fade on Judd and Laurey. Lights fade up on William's home, and we hear,
I caught up with that doctor I told you about. Stopped him after Mass this morning.
What interest you have in a doctor?
You serious? I've got Laurey in mind, of course.
Ain't nothing wrong with Laurey, John. And this is the last I want to hear about the topic.
I don't think there's anything wrong with her either, but there are things she ain't doing that she's supposed to be.
Mr. and Mrs. Williams enter their home. It's dusk. Mrs. Williams just went out to call Mr. Williams in for dinner. They've both been working.
Like what then?
Well, first of all, she ain't talking to nobody. Outside of you-know-who, and she still thinks that's a secret.
I was shy when I was young.
You didn't socialize one bit, not even with a bunch of girlfriends?
Where you think I was when I was young?
Oh, right.
Oh, right. I swear.
But how'd we meet? We had to socialize.
I still can't believe that group of preachers thought it'd be a good idea to take a black one with them.
I think it was the best idea they ever had. Not to mention, I was the only black preacher they knew.
They said, we're going on a church tour. Don't ask where. And you said, sounds good to me.
Well, you weren't forced to come to the mass I was leading, right? Yeah, I didn't think so.
That doesn't mean I was bouncing from group to group talking to everyone I saw.
No, you're right. But you knew you could. You knew how to. Laurey don't.
Okay, so she's extra shy. I don't understand.
Another thing Laurey doesn't do is understand humor the way we do.
I don't think I understand humor the way you do.
You know what I mean, Athena. She don't pick up on none of the subtleties. And it's not like we're being terribly subtle all the time.
Jordan don't always get every joke he hears either. They're just jokes.
But Laurey can't understand the logic of it all. She couldn't tell a joke from a confession, bless her heart.
I don't see why that's such a problem. So our daughter's not funny. Who cares?
Athena, how's she gonna make friends if she's the one that never laughs, that never has fun?
That won't happen. She'll learn.
That's how she'd have to approach it. She'd have to memorize what people laughed at and just repeat it.
That don't make any sense, John.
Of course it does. Certain words yield laughter. If she wants laughter, she'll just piece together which words do it, like a puzzle. But her way of piecing together those words will just be aimless trial and error, copying other people. If she gets to the point of laughing with other people in the first place. What?
You got all the faith in the world, but no faith in our daughter.
That's not true.
That's not true? You think she's some kind of idiot? Like she's not going to do anything or meet anyone or nothing?
Not on her own, no.
How can you say that? You been letting her talk to that boy every night. Didn't she meet him on her own?
She was by herself, but he only came to answer a question he had himself.
What?
Judd came to our house because his daddy had warned him a colored family moved in too close, and he couldn't figure out what color that would be.
He didn't know what color his daddy meant? Truly.
Truly. He told Laurey he still gets frustrated when he hears people call someone black.
Maybe this doctor need to meet Judd.
Well, actually he is. He told me today, the doctor's an expert in what he called the feeble-minded. He said he met Judd and found him to be a type of idiot. I don't remember exactly which type of idiot, but an idiot that in the right circumstances was also a genius. Judd's got a great knowledge of numbers and patterns, he said. He's apparently real literal when he's talking, and he does very little socializing. Sound familiar?
My daughter's not an idiot.
I don't think our daughter's an idiot either. But she and Judd are cut from the same cloth. You can't tell me otherwise.
So what?
Well, so why else would they like to talk to each other so much? Why else would she take the time to lie about him? To protect that friendship? They're all they've got, and it got that way because they're the only ones that really understand each other.
I understand girls enough to see why she do all those things too.
I asked the doctor if he's ever seen little girls act like Judd before.
I can't believe he actually told you who he was there for.
He asked me if the Fries ever came to church, and I said, sure as hell not mine, and asked why. That's how the names came out.
Oh.
Well, he said he'd never heard of girls with the same type of brain as Judd's. He never met one himself. He said he reckoned it was sure possible.
So there's no chance Laurey is...
No, Athena. That just proves you were right. Our daughter is unbelievably special.
Jordan enters.
Jordan? So you sit down, go up and call your sister too. Make sure y'all wash up. Supper will be on the table in a minute.
Lights go down softly on Mr. and Mrs. Williams. Light hits Laurey's bedroom door. Jordan knocks.
Laurey, you hungry? I hope you're not still upset with me, because dinner's ready. So So I think we should head downstairs together.
Jordan calls and knocks again.
Laurey, you napping or something? Wake up if you are.
He opens the door. Jordan walks in.
Laurey, Mama said supper's ready.
He looks around.
Laurey?
He sees a wide open window.
Laurey. Mama!
Blackout. Sound of storm begins. Laurey is walking outside, just about to reach the tool shed.
Judd, it's raining. I wanted to find you. Tell you not to come over here, since it's raining.
Laurey sees light in the tool shed and approaches it, thinking he might be in there. She doesn't know it's the tool shed. She can't see inside, she only hears voices. She was about to knock when the sound of people stopped her.
I'll get some other doctor down here. Put Judd somewhere he ain't making trouble.
I won't say anything.
You surrendering to me right now?
Yes.
Well, sometimes that don't matter.
Sound of Mr. Fry shooting Dr. Jameson. Laurey yelps. The sound frightened her.
Hey! Hey, who's out there?
Laurey runs off. Laurey's out of sight when Mr. Fry bursts out of the tool shed. Looking around, he doesn't see anyone, and he knows he can't just leave a dying body unattended in his shed. He quickly goes back in, shutting the door behind him. As the door shuts, lights hit a blackout. The rain ceases, and the lights slowly change from night to early morning to midday. Just under a week has passed. It's the following Thursday. Laurey came to their spot in the woods again, waiting for Judd, who will doubtlessly be frustrated that she came alone again. Let's not forget that last time Laurey was seen, she was sneaking out, and her family inevitably figured it out. Chances are she didn't see Judd all week. Now she's playing outside again, probably testing out her newfound freedom. She must be eager to talk. It's been a few moments, but where the hell is Judd? Laurey then travels to the area around the front door of the house. The door to the tool shed, as well as one wall face of the outside of the tool shed, is visible. Laurey doesn't hear much. Is anybody around? Laurey checks near the front door of the Fry home and sees no saddle. Coast must be clear. Laurey runs into the house.
Judd, Fry, I told you I need your help getting here. I knew the way.
Laurey stops dead in her tracks, locking eyes with Mrs. Fry. The door shuts. The idea is we're seeing the same moments from Act 1, Scene 8, but from outside of the house.
Pardon me?
You must be Judd's mama.
Indeed I am.
I thought nobody was.
You tell her to come over, Judd?
At this moment, Mr. Fry enters with the saddle. He goes to hang it back where it usually is, the spot Laurey checked. Once done, he then goes into the tool shed.
Miss Williams, listen to me closely. I want you to get out of sight of this property, you understand? It is in your best interest not to be seen here. When you can come back, Judd will come and get you. You understand that, Laurey? It's Laurey, ain't it? Well, if you heard me, get a move on.
Laurey runs out of the house. Before she can make a sound, the door to the tool shed opens and Mr. Fry emerges.
How would you know her name?
Doctor told me you two was friends. I didn't believe him.
Laurey instinctively runs around a corner of the shed, barely escaping Mr. Fry's sight. But he thinks he heard something. Laurey knows that if she makes a sound, she's lost. She has to stay silent until he goes inside. Mr. Fry slowly searches. He's got a hunch someone's got eyes on him. You know that feeling.
She's your best and only friend, you think, Judd?
Mr. Fry begins investigating.
Yes.
How'd you meet her?
Mr. Fry begins walking the perimeter of the tool shed carefully. Laurey is ahead of him barely.
You didn't know what color he meant?
And when I asked, he slapped me for talking back.
Then what?
I ran round after you and Daddy was asleep, looking for a family I didn't recognize. Then I heard this girl outside looking up at the stars. It was so late, though, and so dark. I couldn't tell what color she was at all.
Laurey steps on a stick.
That was Laurey.
That was Laurey.
Laurey and Mr. Fry both freeze. Dialogue continues as Laurey carefully picks up a stick and throws it off stage. Mr. Fry looks in the direction of the sound, and Laurey uses this as an opportunity to look at Mr. Fry and see where he is. He follows the sound off stage. Laurey exhales for what feels like the first time in hours.
She told me her name was Laurey Williams, and she told me all about the stars we was looking at. We kept talking till the sun started to come back up. That's when I saw she was brown. I didn't realize it had to have been my birthday that next morning.
Would you run straight to the fields? Tell Daddy you got up a little early?
Yes.
She know about your daddy?
No.
What you think would happen, Judd?
I'm working on a gun.
My God, Judd!
For the moment, Laurey feels like she's escaped a terrifying danger. She begins reliving what she was told by Mrs. Fry, internalizing it as a personal and eternal banishment from her Judd.
You ain't mad?
At you? I'm mad at me, damn it.
Mama, don't cry.
He was right. My God, that doctor was all kinds of right.
How come you sent Laurey away?
Laurey thinks she heard her name. She approaches the house to listen.
You don't get it, Judd. And it's my fault you don't. You can't be friends with that Laurey no more. It's too dangerous.
Laurey isn't heartbroken as much as she is angered. I imagine both manifest in tears.
Teddy can't beat you much more than he already does.
At this moment, Mr. Fry is heard walking back, muttering to himself. Laurey, with only seconds, runs and hides behind where the saddle is hanging, closer to the front door.
Too dangerous for her, Judd.
Oh.
And you, for that matter. I can't believe I waited so long to get you out of here.
I'm not going nowhere, Mama.
You have to.
No.
Judd, you don't understand. The rest of your life is over if we don't get you somewhere out of harm's way and into good hands.
I can't leave here. I can't leave here.
You want to die here? Alone?
I ain't alone. I got Laurey.
Mr. Fry takes one last hard look at his property as he stands by the front door. Ideally, he is extremely close to Laurey without realizing it.
That won't last, Judd. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I know you can't see it, but your daddy's stronger than you in this.
I ain't got no one else but Laurey, Mama, and ain't nobody stopping me from having her.
You really think that, don't you?
Mr. Fry enters the house.
Hells with all the noise. I could hear y'all yelling halfway up the road.
Judd runs out of the house, on a mission. As soon as the door closes behind Mr. Fry, Laurey lets out an audible exhale, which Judd hears.
You went into town?
Yeah, had to pick up some more rope.
For what?
What do you mean, for what?
Judd turns around to find Laurey crying, and he runs and hugs her. The fact that she's crying doesn't faze him, he's just so relieved to see her. Then he notices she's crying.
Judd, I think you ought to stop with that.
Excuse me?
Never mind.
No. I want to hear what you have to say. What should I stop with?
I don't want to talk about it right now. I changed my mind.
What'd you change your mind about, Beth?
Judd slowly approaches Laurey and sits by her while she cries.
See, now, something tells me you ain't being fully honest at this moment.
I think you ought to stop meeting up with those men, harming people.
That's so.
Yes.
Who gave you this idea?
It's against the law, Judd.
It was that doctor, wasn't it?
Judd tilts his head toward the house.
He didn't say a word to me.
Bullshit!
Loud sound from inside. Judd gets Laurey's attention and stands, trying to pull her with him.
I'm sorry.
I reckon you're lying through your teeth on account of he told me the same damn thing the other day.
Laurey looks up at Judd with tears in her eyes as if to say, "But she said we can't be friends anymore. Why?"
You spoke with him?
Briefly.
He mentioned when he was coming back?
Judd looks at her, trying his best to come up with some kind of answer, but he doesn't have the words.
What do you care?
I'm asking.
Laurey tucks her head back into her hands.
He ain't never coming back, Beth. And he sure as hell didn't convince me to stop doing nothing before he left.
Judd crouches down next to Laurey and communicates something to her with his eyes. Whatever the message is, Laurey must be reminded that she trusts him.
It ain't justice, Judd. It's murder.
Ah, you sound just like him.
Then I sound right.
Sound of a strike from inside. Judd and Laurey both look up at the house, alerted by the sound of the strike.
How many times I need to knock sense into you before it sticks? You both ain't know a damn thing of what you're talking about.
Judd stands and takes Laurey's hand, trying to lead her. She stands and they start heading for the tool shed. When Laurey sees they're not going to her house, she stops, forcing Judd to turn around.
I know about my son, and I know about the law.
The law don't have a clause about setting things back into order because it is implied. And the boy ain't got nothing to do with what I do.
How come you ain't ever known to call him by his name?
How often you name a mistake, Beth?
Fry starts to exit the house. The door to the house opens slightly before Mr. Fry decides to stay inside. The door opening scares Judd and Laurey like deer in headlights.
He knows all about all of it, Judd. And he don't like it.
Judd gives Laurey another look as if to say, "I have a plan. I need you to trust me. We need to go to the tool shed first."
Well, maybe he'll do something about it then one day.
He'll sure as hell try.
Now you're making me think that doctor's here in the room.
I wish he was.
What? You saying he should head to one of them schools?
Yes, I changed my mind. Apparently you did too.
Judd opens the tool shed and enters. Laurey follows. Judd shuts the door behind them. He forgets to lock it.
I want to send my son whatever's best for him, where he doesn't have to hide his friend all of his life.
Doesn't have to what? There's something I don't know.
No.
I find out the boy kept up with that black girl. He ain't going nowhere yet.
Mr. Fry exits the house. Rain begins. Mr. Fry heads for the tool shed. Mr. Fry rattles the tool shed open, his back to the audience.
Boy, I told you the shed was off. Well, I'll be.
The door closes behind Mr. Fry.
Laurey, run!
No, girl, don't you move a damn muscle. You think you can come on over here and take what ain't belong to you, don't you?
No, sir.
No, sir, my ass. Get your black hands off my gun!
You're struggling.
Run! I said run!
Laurey emerges from the tool shed and immediately breaks down with her back against the tool shed door. She can't bear to hear the struggle through the door. Mrs. Fry exits the house. She hears the struggle inside the shed and runs toward it to stop them. Before reaching the door, she finds Laurey. Mrs. Fry crouches by Laurey, hugs her despite the rain. She holds her.
Damn it, boy, get off me!
Sound of struggle inside.
What the hell you doing letting a colored girl on my land into my shed lay her dirty hands on my gun? Well, stand up, damn it. Look at me when I'm talking at you. Now you tell me something, boy. This the first time that good-for-nothing's been on this land?
No.
Round this shed?
No.
Seen that gun?
Yes.
Liar!
Sound of slap and falling to the floor. On the slap, Laurey yelps and immediately covers her mouth. Mrs. Fry covers Laurey's ears at the same time.
What, she your little girlfriend or something? My son, playing hooky with a black bitch, then letting her run when he knows his daddy had other plans.
Laurey found the pistol on the ground.
That right? She just found it there? Stroke of luck, she saw it on the ground?
Yes, you must have been too dumb to hide it yourself.
What did you just say to me?
I said you must have been too dumb to hide it.
Then silence. The moment of silence terrifies Laurey and alerts Mrs. Fry. She quickly gets Laurey to her feet and coerces her to run home. Laurey runs off stage. Mrs. Fry watches her go, takes a moment to look back at the shed, and runs back toward the home.
You just made a big mistake.
After a moment, Mr. Fry emerges from the tool shed with his gun. Mrs. Fry sees him from the front door of the home. He doesn't know she's there. He breaks down to his knees in tears. He shouts aimlessly at the rain. He looks back down at the gun and walks off in the direction Laurey went. Mrs. Fry watches him go. Thunderclap as the lights go nearly fully out. Mrs. Fry goes back inside. After another moment, Judd emerges from the tool shed and looks to see if the saddle is still there. It is. He reasons Mr. Fry must have left on foot. Judd re-enters the tool shed. After a brief moment, Judd emerges from the tool shed with his weapon. He runs off in the direction Laurey ran. Full blackout. Rain intensifies. In the blackout.
Ms. Williams!
Laurey? Laurey!
The lights come up very minimally. It's nighttime and it's still raining. Laurey is running, panting, and realizes all too quickly that she's disoriented. She loses track of where she is. As she hears voices, she tries to follow them immediately. The speed of each line builds slowly.
Laurey, where are you?
Mama?
Ms. Williams, where are you off to?
Mama?
Run.
Judd?
It's too late to be out playing.
I just want to talk to yous all.
And it's raining.
Daddy?
Where are you?
Laurey trips over herself and lands on the ground. After a moment, Mr. and Mrs. Williams appear.
There you are.
What are you doing out here, baby?
It's pouring rain, Laurey. What, you get lost?
Why are you crying, Laurey? What's wrong?
Come on now, we'll talk about it at home.
A gunshot fires and just missed Mr. Williams from behind. Mrs. Williams screams. Laurey is in shock.
John! John!
The hell'd that come from?
Mrs. Williams looks around frantically. Mr. Fry enters holding his gun.
You son of a...
Mr. Fry points the gun at Mrs. Williams.
Don't you take another step.
Mrs. Williams tries to move, but Mr. Williams puts an arm in front of her.
Rain does a number to my aim, looks like.
What are you doing?
Well, this ain't how I intended to make my presence known to the Williams family, but it'll have to do.
What do you want?
Your daughter here tried to take something that didn't belong to her. Ain't that right, Laurey?
Don't say my daughter's name.
Well, what is it I'm supposed to call her? Dog? Bitch? Another one comes to mind that I reckon you don't take very kindly to, so I'll be courteous. Why don't you just say sorry, huh? Sorry for stealing my property. Sorry for trying to lie about it.
No.
Look like I was talking to you. Now, Laurey, as I said, I'd like an apology. That's all.
Laurey is almost completely withdrawn from the situation.
You don't say a word, baby.
I've no interest in staying out in this rain any more than you do, but I will until you do what's right.
No response from Laurey. Mr. Fry begins approaching Laurey.
It'd be awful dumb not to listen to me right now.
Mr. Williams leaps at Mr. Fry, trying to knock the gun from his hand. It falls onto the ground, as do Mr. Fry and Mr. Williams. They struggle.
Run! Get home!
You think I don't remember where you live?
Mr. Fry lands a punch that gets Mr. Williams off of him and down for the count.
Dumb son of a bitch.
Mr. Fry does not yet go to pick up his gun.
You both dumber than I thought. Man with authority comes over here, and you both think you've got the power to resist him. See? That's why I gotta hit ya. I feel threatened, and I got every reason to be. And that's why I gotta keep hitting you animals. Get the message. Stay the hell down.
Judd enters, focus fixed on his father. Mr. Fry catches sight of his son.
What are you doing here?
Nothing from Judd.
Boy, you better go back home before I come over there and take you back home myself.
Take me back home.
You clever son of a bitch.
Mama's not a bitch.
Boy, you something else. What you come here to do? Save your little girlfriend? Stop me? Well, open up your damn eyes. She came onto my property. She took something that don't belong to her, and she tried to run away. That's 3 different crimes, all wrapped up in one black bitch.
Judd snaps. Judd runs at his father, grapples him, and they struggle. He doesn't even use the weapon he built and brought with him. Mr. Fry doesn't take Judd's reaction seriously.
Laurey, run away!
The sound of Judd's voice calling her name alerts her, but she immediately recognizes her father's injured. Laurey is sensorily overloaded quickly again and freezes.
Run!
Mr. Fry is obviously stronger than Judd physically, and he tosses Judd back, who reels and falls on the ground. He's okay, he's just staying down, thinking of a better next move. There is a break in the fight. Still, no one has the gun. Mrs. Williams starts tugging on Laurey and Mr. Williams to run off.
You know what? You can go ahead and run, Laurey, because your mama and your daddy know I'll be coming right on back. I ain't finished. It ain't just me once you're gone, you see.
Mr. Fry turns to face the Williams. Meanwhile, Judd quietly picks up a rock.
Hell, I ought to be thanking the boy. You know why?
Judd runs again at his father, this time when Mr. Fry wasn't paying attention. Judd's on top. Judd starts throwing messy fists at his father while on the ground. A lot of them. Judd uses the rock. Mr. Fry has begun bleeding and slowly starting to not fight back. Laurey and her parents are horrified. Judd keeps it up.
Judd, stop!
Judd stops immediately. He stands and looks down at his father. Judd takes a couple steps back. He drops the rock. On one side of him on the ground is the rock. On the other is the gun.
How'd that feel, boy? That feel good? To get a few in on your old man? Well, good for you. You did it. Wasn't even looking. And now, what? You gonna let me bleed the same way you did before? Ain't no different than Ellis. Am I?
Judd looks over at Laurey. He doesn't know what to do. Judd looks down at his feet, creating what he thinks are his only 2 options. Rock, gun.
I didn't think so.
Judd picks up the weapon his father entered with. Full blackout. Thunderclap. Rain intensifies, then ceases.
Presumably some time has passed. It's daytime. Judd enters. He's in their spot where he and Laurey typically meet.
Laurey? Laurey?
No one's around.
Laurey, where are you?
Judd takes a cursory look around the area until he finds a letter next to where Laurey would sit. It should be slightly hidden. Laurey enters above. Judd opens the letter and reads.
Hello, Judd.
Hello yourself.
Mama, Daddy, Jordan, and I ain't here. Figured I would start with what you probably wonder. Mama said we had to leave, and we had to leave fast. So we left, and we left fast. She said the trip Oklahoma territory would be long and dangerous, but that we don't have a choice. That made it easy for me to decide. She said we had to leave because of you. Well, because of what happened. I kept asking why at first. Then I stopped because, well, truthfully, I was glad to leave, Judd. I think I was wrong about you. I thought you was kind and gentle and treated poor. But you're just like your daddy, Judd, and that scares me. Made your face look scared to look at, and your eyes, and your hands, and your arms. I don't want to be around something I'm afraid of because it wasn't the good kind afraid. Like when I was sneaking out to see you, that was the good kind afraid because part of me almost wanted to get caught with you. I liked you. I liked you like Memorio Jackson.
Yes.
I made it all up about us. First, I made up to lie to my mama, but then I told you because I thought it might make you jealous. I'm leaving you this letter because I don't want you to think I left because I hate you. In fact, well,
Laurey's not ready to finish that thought.
we left to save ourselves. My mama, my daddy, my brother, and me. We was scared. I was scared, I guess. Actually, I am scared. The feeling isn't really going away. I do believe redemption, Judd, like we talked about. I believe it a lot, hard as it may be right now. I think that because I believe people are generally good. They try to be, that is, or they think they are. I'm not sure yet. I think people ain't ever being bad. Just to be bad. I don't think you are bad. Deep down. I hope not, Mace. I'm sorry, Judd. I'm sorry for leaving without really saying so long. And also, thank you. Thank you for being my best and only friend.
Laurey exits.
Oklahoma.
Slow fade to blackout.